Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well, as always. As always. Let's see. Sorry I'm late. I was looking for something and I could not find it. You know what's annoying? What's annoying is when you know there's video of something and you cannot find it at all. Because it exists, but no one wants to put it up. It's the same camera. I just have a little change. Why the office change? Because I didn't have any room. Now I have a bunch more room. I did change the focal length on the camera so that there's less blurring of the background. So you guys can see there's a background there. And there's going to be more background. I don't have it yet. I do technically have books behind me, by the way. They're just over here now, as opposed to over there. So, but yeah. But yeah, I know you guys don't like change. You don't like change. I know. But yeah, I'm changing out my office stuff. The flag is probably going to make it come. I have to hang it. No, I'm still in the vault. I literally just turned 90 degrees. Where's Drexel going to sit? That's a good question. Because currently, I don't actually have a place for him. But, you know, what do I care? What do I care about other people's comfort? Yeah, unfortunately, I have a house full of sick people. And those sick people are not really able to help me hang flags and stuff like that. But yeah, so the background is in a little bit of flux. We'll figure it out soon. I just ordered a whole bunch of stuff to for my workstation here. A bunch of monitor mounting. So I'm gonna have like monitors floating all over the air now, as opposed to sitting on the desk, which is gonna be nice because it'll free up some more space. I got a swivel arm for my tablet. I ordered a huge 4K monitor. When I get it all done, I'm still eventually, again, I've got a new desk coming, and that'll finally be great. And then maybe I can actually show the full studio at that point. But it'll be I'm working on everything. Constantly changing. Amazon's like, stop making me deliver boxes to your house. The liquor barrel's right here next to me. Stephen F. You won't be able to see it in the frame, but it's here close by. So, with all that said, tonight we have a whiskey review. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I figured since I probably won't be drinking much on the stream tomorrow with Vic, I probably will be drinking much tonight. So, SMU Pony, I have an Imperium of Man flag. I have one. But yes, so we will be drinking a significant amount tonight. We are going to be reviewing this minor case rye whiskey. So we're gonna, this is a straight rye whiskey, which is 100% less gay than Vic's pants. It is a sherry cask finished whiskey with 45% alcohol by volume. I've never tried this, never heard of it, but I found it at the liquor store, and that is what we're gonna be drinking tonight. So that's good. But yes, tomorrow is the Vic interview. It is in just under 24 hours now. It will probably be a little shorter, or at least the time with Vic will probably be around 2 hours. I'm not sure how long he'll end up staying, but that's the current plan is about 2 hours. So we'll see how that goes. I'll make sure and make that clear, but you know, we're gonna want to get used to get a good use out of the time. So I'm not going to ramble on as long at the beginning of tomorrow's stream. So if people want to be there, they should be there. They should be there for all of it. But yeah, we're going to be talking about, you know, we're going to be talking about the case. There's some stuff that Vic really wants people to know. Some stuff that has not been publicly disclosed to my knowledge prior to this. And so that's going to be part of it. There will be, I mean, this will be some new stuff in this interview. Aside from just, you know, the new stuff being Vic's take on the case or whatever, Vic's experiences and stuff like that. He's got some actual info about the case that has not been shared that he wants to make public or something. So we'll have to see what that is. We'll have to see. That's, you know, that's on him. You know, I'll help to beat it out of him, but that's the thing. No, the appeals ruling was not released. So this is something I need to kind of address, I guess. Some people think that because we're doing this interview, that there must be some knowledge about the appeals ruling. That's not a thing. It's not a thing that's that can happen. So the appeals court is a public court, and its rulings are very public. They get released to everybody at the same time. So there's no like special knowledge about the appeal, or there's no like, oh, this is a plan or whatever. There is no way to plan for an appeals court ruling. They just happen when they happen. And when they happen, everybody will know at the same time when they happen. So there's no secret, like, oh, there's some reason that they're doing this. It has nothing to do with the appeal case. There's just no way to know. And trust me, you're going to find out pretty quickly if you're following this thing at all, if there's anything going on. Wolvenar, I always look tired. I always am tired. I have narcolepsy. So there's nothing there. There's nothing about this timing of this that has anything to do with the appeals case. So I just want to put that thing to bed because some people think that there's something about it. Now, it has nothing to do with that at all. Oh wait, I gotta wait. We got to do the whiskey review properly. I can't just wantonly drink this. Hold on. That being said, it is possible. It is entirely within the realm of possibility that Vic's appeal decision does come down on Thursday. That is a possibility that the appeals court will render their decision on Thursday. They publish their decisions on Thursday around 9:30 p.m. Central Time. And when I say around, I mean exactly in the middle of 9:30 p.m. Like 9:30 p.m. and 26 seconds to the second. It must be an automated process. So there's not there like it's gonna only happen at that time, a Thursday, 9:30:26. One of the days. That'll be it. There's no way to know other than that. And I know this because I spend about 26 seconds hitting refresh over and over at 9:30 every Thursday to see if it comes. Guys, it blows my mind that this is still happening. People keep asking me if there's Vic news. Trust me, if there's Vic news, you will know it immediately. It'll be in the title. It'll be in the description. I'll probably be screaming and laughing or whatever it is. Like, there'll probably be a tweet about it. However you end up finding the stream, it will be there. It's gonna be the main topic of whatever show that is. I can't drink it yet. I gotta wait. Okay. I keep reflexing. I'm really thirsty. I think I'm fighting off whatever illness my my wife and kids have. And so it's just it's like a dry, scratchy throat or whatever. So I'm super thirsty. So I think that's about. And so I keep grabbing for a drink out of reflex and grabbing my whiskey, but I'm waiting just a minute. Okay, so upcoming other things. The Vic thing is tomorrow, obviously. Thursday, 3 p.m. Central Time. I am on with Critical Drinker on his channel. 3 p.m. Central Time on his channel. We will be reviewing Train to Busan. Thursday, his channel. Okay? Friday of next week. Not this Friday. Next Friday. Camelot 331 is going to be on the show. If you guys know Camelot, he's been on the show before. It's been a long time. I always enjoy talking to him. He's a funny guy. So we're going to talk to Camelot on a week from Friday. What else is going on? I am booked for Matsuri. I mean, I've been officially going for a while, but I'm actually booked now. So that's that. We're going to be down at Anime Matsuri, July 8th through 11th. Me and Lady Rackets will be there. So make sure if you are in the Houston area, come hang out with us, have fun, consume the wonders of Japanese culture or whatever. You know, it's amazing. Like most anime conventions, they're really good at emulating the Japanese populace. When you walk into an anime convention, your birth rate approaches 0 very, very quickly. It's a perfect way to replicate Japan. You just walk into an anime convention and then, whoo, suddenly you're not in danger of having any children at all. Attorney Tom, you're in Houston? Why are you there? We must visit. We must meet. So that being said, tonight, that's what's on the docket so far. There's more. I was born in Houston too, Attorney Tom, but I was taken away from my raising at the tender age of almost 10. I was taken away from being raised in Houston the rest of the way. So I was over in Inwood Forest Village. if you're familiar with the area. God, I hope not, for your sake. I hope you have no idea where the intersections of Antoine and Little York are, or what is it? Little York and West Gulf Bank. Woo! Is it West Gulf Bank anymore, or is it just Gulf Bank now? They finally cut it through. So, yeah, but I was saved from being there. So that being said, well, maybe I can find a way to meet up with Attorney Tom while I'm down in Houston. That would be fun to do as well. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Tonight, we're going to have the whiskey review. We're going to talk about Ronnie O'Neal's closing argument. This is the frustrating part. Fox 13 of Tampa Bay live streamed the entire closing argument for Ronnie O'Neal, both the prosecution and him. And then they took it down. And the full video, it doesn't seem to exist. Now, if somebody out there in the audience has the full Ronnie O'Neal closing argument video or has a link to it, and they can DM me on Twitter or something with a link to it, I would love to watch the full thing. But I can't find the full thing. I can only find clips of it, which is infuriating. Infuriating. Oh, catch you later, Ty. Catch you later, man. So then other than that, there was a plot against Victoria's Secret about stealing underwear. Sort of. Stealing money related to underwear, which is kind of weird, which I thought was kind of a funny and neat crime story. One of these cases of a smaller type of heist. And frankly, Victoria's Secret deserves it because of what they're doing to those poor deprived angels who are now going to be out of work and instead replaced with a bunch of already privileged weirdos like Megan Rapinoe or whatever. See, they're going from finding hot Eastern European women to raise out of poverty and into multimillionaire stardom by selling their bodies, and instead they're replacing that with people who are already multimillionaires selling their bodies. The problem is just nobody wants to buy them. So that is a horrifying reality of this. Victoria's Secret is the victim of woke culture of 2021. They're done. They're done. And they deserve to be done forever. Ew. Ugh. Megan Rapinoe. But yeah, so there's that. So because of that, I am reveling in the theft that occurred to Victoria's Secret. We're going to talk about that. And then we'll probably find something else. We'll probably find something else to talk about as well. And then we'll see. For now, let's do super chats, then the whiskey review, then we'll get into it. Oh, and I got to open up. Reminder that Justice Chats are live. However, they are on a new and improved Streamlabs link. Streamlabs.com/Ricada Media is the correct one. Let's see. And speaking of which, there are two Justice Chats. Let me read them. Clay Davis says, Vic Mignogna on Ricada Live tomorrow. Shit. Crusader Saracen says, Nick, if you walk into an anime con, do your kids phase out of existence like Schrodinger's cat? Because something quantum state of Japan's birth rate. Then they phase back in as soon as you step out of the convention center. I have no idea. I've never taken my children to an anime convention. So I think yes. It's when I step into the convention, they disappear. And when I come out of the convention, they reappear. But since I've never taken them into one, I don't actually know. So it's like Schrodinger's kids. if that makes sense. Loric Project says, hey, Nick, a guy in Seattle got in a fight at Ace Hardware with an employee about his friend not wearing a mask. There's no longer a mandate here. Well, there you go. People need to not fight over masks at all, because that was dumb when there was a mandate. It's even more dumb today. Frederick Little says, hey, Nick, I hope you and your dad had a great Father's Day. I did. I think his was okay. I don't know. I didn't see him. He's not around here right now. So he went to the store to buy some milk, some ice cream. It was 27 years ago. No, he's just he's not around. I did briefly chat with him, but soon hopefully the Rackets dad interview will happen. Niku Yasha says, hey Nick, did you hear about OnlyFans moving away from lewd stuff? I think that's pretty funny. I mean, I heard that they're looking to move away from it. Maybe we'll talk about that later on. Didn't they already try that earlier? Wasn't that a thing? I feel like I remember OnlyFans saying, no. You can't do porn on here. You can do nude pictures or whatever, but you can't just have all of the hardcore sexual pornography happening that's going on here. And then I feel like that kind of fell by the wayside, and now it's coming back. I don't know. That was Tumblr? I don't think that was just. I feel like that was OnlyFans also. But I have a suspicion that the lewd OnlyFans is not going anywhere. That's just my thought. Oh, we should do that though. That'll be funny. OnlyFans has a blog. They have an official blog for OnlyFans creators that you can read, and it's got topics that are topical for OnlyFans content creation. And I saw this today when I was looking for news about them going non-lewd or whatever, and I was dying. I thought it was really funny. So I thought maybe we could look at some of the blog posts. We really don't even need to read the blog posts. It's just like the pictures and stuff on it are pretty good. Unkindness of Ravens says, hey, Nick, how you doing, kiddo? This is for last week's stream with Ty. He's a terrific guest, very enjoyable. Also for tomorrow's show with Vic, I found your channel because of your boy Zach. Stayed for Vic and Ty. Hello to Mrs. Rackets. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll tell her you said hi. I start doing OnlyFans and lewd your big nose out. Yeah, like put a bra on my nose or whatever. Get like little Barbie accessories, like the Barbie lingerie collection for my nose. That'd be good. All right, let's start this whiskey review. And then just if you're not aware, typically speaking, when I do these whiskey reviews, here's what happens. We get to the first drink, and then the show immediately goes downhill because so the first shot, I take a couple sips at a time. You got to take your first sip, get your first impressions, and that's the full shebang. Then your second sip is a little bit more, relaxed, kind of like you're drinking a little bit. And then after that, you got to take a full shot and see how that goes down. So this ship, the iceberg has been spotted, and we're sailing directly into it as fast as possible. So just a fair warning. When I start ranting and raging about the Jews or whatever, that's when you know that the whiskey is doing its job. So here we go. This is the first sip of, what's this thing called again? Minor Case. This is like my entire law practice summarized in the name of a whiskey. Minor case. So here we go. It smells good. Smells like a mix of rye and gasoline. It's got a little bit of a whiskey acritic smell to it. When you got a nose this big, you don't even need to drink. You just shove it in the glass and whiff, and you get immediately intoxicated. I got to get an ASMR mic, right? So I can sniff into the ear like... Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Very smooth going into your mouth. That's what she said. And then it does something that I like. I get that Kentucky Owl. The Kentucky Owl Rye, which is there's that cylinder right there that I think you can maybe see right now. That is that's Kentucky Owl Rye. That thing. That's better at it than this, but this has the makings of that. So while it's on your tongue, where the liquid flows in your mouth, it starts to tingle a lot. I like that. It's a very interactive sort of whiskey drinking experience. It doesn't just go into your mouth and sit there. It doesn't burn. It tingles. And I like that. This is not as electric as the Kentucky Owl, but this also costs 1/6 as much, so that's forgivable. That's very good. Just a second. All right. This is finished in sherry casks, which gives it a very fruity, sweet sort of note at the end, but it's not offensive. It doesn't taste like a wine, because we had that with the Aaron malt, the Balcones or whatever, Sauternes cask finished Aaron malt, terrible. That tasted like cheap white wine. This has a sherry finish, which you can definitely tell it's there. It really mellows out the finish of the whiskey, which means when you're done drinking it, when it's no longer in your mouth, the aftertaste is relatively pleasant. It's mild. It is not something that is overpowering in your mouth and sitting around making you pissed off or wanting to chase it or anything like that. It's like got its own built-in chaser. This is good. May, I'm literally in the same room. Price range of the rye. This is about $45. This is about $45. So this is not an expensive whiskey. It's not cheap, right? A cheap whiskey is $15. This is a middle to lower middle range whiskey. You know whiskey is smooth when you can like swish it around in your mouth and it doesn't bother you at all. Yeah. This is good. It is a little sour tasting too. As I keep drinking, I'm getting a little bit of the sourness to come through, which is not a lot of ryes taste sour to me, but this one does. Yeah, I like it. I would recommend this whiskey for sure. This is bottled by Limestone Branch Distillery Company in Lebanon, Kentucky. Not to be confused with Lebanon. Not bad. Let's look up that OnlyFans Creator blog. The only blog.onlyfans.com. Why did I think it would be anything else? Like, what do you think? Like, what is this going to focus on to you guys? Because you know that, like, everything that they do has got to not be what OnlyFans is. Like, they can't do that. That would be too much. Let's see if we got it real quick here. All right, here we go. So here's the OnlyFans blog. On your knees, B. You can either, if you can email it to me, ricadalaw@ricada.org, or you can DM me on Twitter or wherever. Just tag me and tell me where you sent it. Does that someone else's live stream actually have the closing arguments? Wait, is it that weird guy, that Ice McKell or something? That guy, I don't know if he had a lot of weird commentary going on. Okay, so here we go. I just want to take a peek at the posts here. So we've got 5 steps for getting started on OnlyFans. An exclusive interview with Ra Iman, which this is not a good picture. I don't know why this would be the thing. Like, why would you want this? You'd be like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to pick a picture and it's going to be that one. But I don't know. I don't know. No. All right, sorry. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay. So that's Ra Iman. Exclusive interview. Is OnlyFans safe? Look at this girl. I wonder if I flash my vagina on OnlyFans, who will see it? Like, she's sitting around in this nice little button-up shirt or whatever with her nerd glasses on. She's got a pen in her hands because apparently, like, that's how people browse the internet now, is they put a pen in their fingers while they're browsing the internet on their laptop, thinking about their OnlyFans that they're going for. Like, why? Let's see. When someone is contemplating an OnlyFans, how are they doing this? How are they going through that? Yeah, this is probably the image. That's her right hand, but she's got a ring on her right hand. I guess that's not the wedding band hand, typically speaking, but I think that's what it's implying. Maybe. I don't know. It's just ambiguous enough to be mysterious. Looks like a stylus pen? No, it doesn't. It looks like a pen. That doesn't look like a stylus at all. Then we got this guy. How to make professional videos on your smartphone. Tips for filmmakers. Shouldn't it just literally be like how to take pictures of your balls? Like, for this guy? I mean, look at it. He's wearing a denim button-up with a white wife beater underneath, and he's like, listen here. I got my hands down in front of my smartphone camera that you got to see it. I'm like, what? Is this right before he starts jerking off on camera? What is this? What are these pictures? I don't get it. Why? Rising stars on OnlyFans. This guy, he's got The AirPods, is that a he? I don't actually know. I think so. But today's day, you can't tell. You can't tell. So I think that's supposed to be a guy. He's got a sick fade. Look at that thing. Damn. A sick fade going up. Got the mirrorless camera going, mounted, doing the like this number. Like this is either a speech or a karate attack. I don't know. How do I promote my OnlyFans? Look at this guy. What is he? He's so happy to be walking around with his phone out. Everybody's got AirPods in. Are these did they just steal a bunch of Apple marketing for AirPods? Because everybody looks like they're directly from the Genius Bar with their cool new AirPods in. They had to go into the store to get someone to sync them up on their phone. They're like, haha, now I can hear my music. I'm very happy. And they just took all of that and just slapped OnlyFans on it. Look at this thing. How do I promote my OnlyFans? I don't know. Drop flyers at a strip club. Who cares? Be like, this is more expensive than a strip club. But at least you don't get herpes. Okay, that's good. What do we got? Using support. Tips and tricks for user queries. Okay. Yeah, again, look at these pictures that they're using. There's no honesty in this conversation at all. Like, what is happening here? I believe this chick is on OnlyFans. This is like the first believable OnlyFans creator in all of these stock photos that they got. Like I'm pretty sure this girl has an OnlyFans. I bet it's wild too. Fitness creators on OnlyFans. Look. Here's my OnlyFans about fitness in my ass. That's all it is. What? Look at how they look. Oh, God. Okay. All right. We're both size queens. Okay. I got it. Why is the guy's got the half-pound dumbbell? What is that? This is training for bringing hot dogs to Tyrone. Okay. What is that? What is that? I don't even know. I can't take it. How to use the vault feature on OnlyFans? What's the vault feature? One of many features is creator toolkit. This vault. What? I don't even know what this is. I gotta find out. Thank you, kind man, for telling me about the vault feature. Brilliant to not only privately store all your content, but allow you to repurpose and share content to fans who may not have seen it before. Here's how to use the vault feature on OnlyFans. Man. Any media you post or send on OnlyFans will automatically be saved to your vault. Not only does the vault save all your content, but it still stores all your past live streams. Very cool. Navigating to your vault. So what? You just reshare your vault stuff? Should I do that? Is that the real grift? You just repost the same stuff? God, these guys are brilliant. How to start a podcast. You know where I think about what I think about when I'm going to start a podcast is I go directly to OnlyFans. That's obviously the place. You know, you don't go to like Stitcher or SoundCloud or Podbean or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. You go straight to OnlyFans. Look, why wouldn't you post a podcast on OnlyFans? Ever thought of starting a podcast? Now's the time. Now's the time? Is it really? I don't know about that. I don't know if now is the time to start a podcast. I think it was like 12 years ago was the time. 5 steps for getting started. I think this is that same chick who had the OnlyFans before. How to use poll features. Well, you can't poll dance, so you gotta have poll features, I guess. I believe she might have an OnlyFans too. Okay. Filmmaking equipment. This is an expensive camera, really expensive lens on a nice gimbal. Like what are we talking about here? How high quality is the OnlyFans content? Oh, we got to do the full shot. We got to do the full shot here. Load more. There's more of these posts. The next set. What can I live stream on OnlyFans? Oh, let's find out. One of our favorite features for creators to use on the platform is live streaming. I'm sure it is. Using your analytics. Track all the traffic on your profile. Okay. It says, what can I live stream? Living in the present. Wants to see awesome content only you can give them, which provides a personal experience it's worth paying for. Your fans follow your profile because they want to connect closely with you. In you? With you. So this is important to bear in mind. They love seeing your posts on the platform. The next step is to allow your fans to see you in the present by live streaming. This makes for fun, authentic viewing. It's one thing for fans to see you active on the platform. It's another thing entirely for them to be able to see you live and engage live and engaging in real time. Q&As, suggestions, genres, the OnlyFans cooking page. What? There's a variety of genres on OnlyFans? Let's see what genres they have. Cooking. This guy. OnlyFans, but like for cooking, OnlyPans. They took a Twitter user's joke. Okay. Music. Is this DJ normally topless? Let's see. We've got beauty, comedy, comedian Stephanie Tejeda is known as the new queen of comedy on OnlyFans. Is she funny? I don't know if I buy that. Gaming. Fitness and sports. Look at this guy. Come on. Where's the real purpose of OnlyFans? Where's the real purpose? Teaching and wellness? Acting? There's so many more genres. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, okay. Here we go. We've got gorgeous and funny Cat Mew. You would love him. Follow my free page. Then this is fun SSBBW body positivity and invisible illness motivator. Fine white babe. I don't know what this guy does. These people are just posting their OnlyFans, so that's great. That's perfect. What a disaster. I'm sorry. I saw the blog and I was like, what is this? You sent it to my email? Okay. Let me pull that up. Okay. This is a good chunk of it. Let me see if this one is... Same one. Okay. Gotcha. So thank you for that. That'll be... We'll watch that in a second. I'm looking forward to hearing Ronnie's closing arguments. I think they'll be great. I think they'll be great. Oh, I was supposed to take a shot of this. I took a sip. So let me just nail this real quick. Man, that goes down easy. It should have an OnlyFans. Very good. Very good. Not a lot of burn on that. Not, I'm not feeling like I need to cough or choke or anything, that was good. That's good stuff. Wow. I'm pleasantly surprised. Jonathan Fitzpatrick says, can I get a special birthday shout out for my brother, Tom Fitzpatrick? We're both big fans of your content, and he recently celebrated 31 years as an out and proud homosexual. Happy belated 31st, Tom. Hey, Tom, congratulations. Happy birthday. I'm so glad it is your month, brother. Not only is it your birthday month, but also you get to take pride in being an out, functioning, fully homosexual male in 2021. And that is such a great thing. That is awesome. I'm very, very happy for you. I wish the best for you and your future husband or husbands or whatever. And just please, dear Christ, don't start an OnlyFans. God is actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but God has been talking to a lot of people lately. I'm one of them. And he said, you know what? I'm actually okay with the gay thing. I just really have a problem with OnlyFans. That needs to stop. That needs to stop because, it's getting too far. So I'm willing to concede a little bit on the gay stuff as long as OnlyFans turns away from porn. It's a weird thing, but I don't know. All right. So with that said, let's turn to Ronnie O'Neal and his closing arguments. Let me get the audio settings right on this thing. You want that one? So spoiler alert on this. If you don't know, Ronnie was not successful in his case. He is guilty on all of the charges. I think they were actually looking for other charges to give him, but here's his closing argument though. I didn't mean to spoil it, but I also, before we play this, I do have to play, nope, not that one. This is from back in 2018. This is about the Ronnie case. This is some information I didn't know, but I figured this is important context for the Ronnie case. So just a second here. So this is from November 21st, 2018. Now remember, Ronnie killed Kenyatta Barron in March of 2018. This has been a long time coming. So here we go. Oh shit. I got the audio ready, and then I didn't actually turn it on. Here we go.
Now we're learning a Riverview man accused of nearly killing his entire family may have threatened them before the incident. News Channel 8's Corey Davis joins us now live from the Tampa News Center. Now, Corey, there is a lot of evidence that's shedding light on Ronnie O'Neal III.
Hey, Josh, good evening to you. Most definitely. And the evidence is all here in roughly 24 CDs of interviews and documents painting a picture of what may have led to the killings. Family of Kenyatta Barron and her 9-year-old daughter, Ronnie O'Neal, are still mourning after their murders back in March. These newly released photos show Ronnie O'Neal III, just after Hillsborough deputies say he killed his girlfriend and daughter, tried to murder his young son before setting the house on fire. The charges show that deputies believe O'Neal was able to think this out. We're now hearing in interviews just released that some people didn't see any signs of trouble at the home until screams for help that night. Others say O'Neal threatened his girlfriend in the past and was seen on the roof yelling well before the incident. The night of the murders, deputies say he made a 911 call ranting about demons.
Remember that 911 call that Ronnie kept talking about, right? He's like, the 911 call. Can't find it on the call logs. Okay, well, Ronnie's got his 911 call. This is what they're talking about right now. When he called 911, this is what caught my attention.
Night of the murders, deputies say he made a 911 call ranting about demons, calling Kenyatta by her nickname, Kiki.
911, what is your emergency? Hey, I just been attacked by some white demons inside Kiki.
Some motherfucking white demons was inside Kiki. So we're starting to get a picture on Ronnie that's a little bit interesting.
Kiki, her name is Kiki, and she tried to kill me. What's she at? Huh?
Kenyatta called 911 begging for her life, while deputies say O'Neal yelled Allah Akbar in the background.
Oh no! Oh no! Allah Akbar! Oh shit! I think.
New evidence shows that there may have been tension over his efforts to convert the family to Islam. And O'Neal has spoken out several times in court, at one point saying the media is portraying him as, quote, a menace to society. Doctors now say he's incompetent to stand trial. And just a couple days ago, he was moved to a state hospital where he'll stay until he's fit to come back. Live in
So yeah, this is back in 2018. This is one of the reasons why his trial has waited until now, is because he was Aloha snack barring everybody. And they said, this guy isn't, he can't. I mean, come on now. He can't do that. But allegedly was trying to convert his family to Islam. I assume a specific sect of Islam, right? Like a Nation of Islam type thing. Maybe not. I'm going off of assumptions with the white demons being in Kenyatta, Kiki Barron. That I think that's a clue that maybe there's some deeper seated Nation of Islam liberation theology going on there, and that maybe he was scared of Yaqub. It might also explain why he was mean mugging the prosecutors so hard. I don't know specifically what that's about, but that's an interesting thing about the case that we didn't know before. Pat Royson says, was his wife screwing a white dude? Don't know. The only thing we do know is that Ronnie O'Neal had fathered another child just recently when this happened. And his girlfriend was a little mad about it still. Not sure why his girlfriend would be mad about him having a baby with a different woman than her. But, you know, I mean, things happen. These happen. Yes, I moved my setup. I did not change rooms. It's just turned. But okay. So here are the closing arguments. I think we need to get into them. I'm gonna try and pause it as little as possible because it's got some time.
He talked to you about the blood on the floor. And he talked to you about the blood in the clothing in the garage. Okay.
Okay.
I went in and got my son, and we came out of the garage. And he was hurt, bleeding. So, of course, his blood is going to be on the floor on those clothing where he was leaking blood.
Right. That makes sense. These captions are terrible. Leaking God, where he was leaking God. Mithran Emrys says, it goes down easy. It should have an OnlyFans. Lies. To deserve an OnlyFans, it would have to offer glimpses of something interesting or tantalizing, but never really deliver anything of substance or quality. You know, true. Okay. Okay. Defiant Lemming says, Durka, Muhammad Jihad. You guys keep knocking his hair. You saw what his hair was like in 2018. The man just went Super Saiyan in custody.
He told you that I grabbed an axe and beat my daughter or chopped her to death.
His daughter that he is convicted of killing was special needs to the point of not being able to communicate. That's one of the we'll probably watch the snippets from the prosecutor's argument in a minute here. I've got those like right here, I think. Yeah. I've got the prosecutor's section in there. We'll watch that in a minute. It's pretty fucking awful.
You don't know what happened to my daughter.
Oh, Reginald Moore is available. That's cool.
But you better believe I know what happened to my daughter, and that's why Kenyatta Barron is dead.
Oh shit. Pseudo memes. You have the full. Yeah, I want the full raw video. Where you got it?
They told you nothing but accusations and assumptions and guesstimations. They have not proved beyond a reasonable doubt that I killed my daughter or stabbed my son. Because for the bottom line is my son said something different to what he already said, so that's a reasonable doubt right there.
The bouncing help.
He told you way in the beginning when I wanted. I ain't even gonna say that because I know you're gonna object to that. But he already said that I did not hurt him. He told you that I told my son on this fraudulent audio to go get a knife.
Fraudulent audio, not project audio.
I sat right there and showed you that he told my counsel when they went and deposed him for deposition, Miss Karlyn Schimler and Jennifer Bradley asked him, did your dad tell you to go get anything? He said, no.
They asked him.
But all of a sudden, Thursday of trial, he's saying all of these things and accusations towards his dad. His real dad.
Oh, shit. Well, I mean, now we know, by the way, who did the axing. It was his lawyers. They set him up to fail the whole time.
You sat right there and seen when Ronald Gale got up to question my son. The first thing he asked him, you like to play games? And he talked about dogs. My son said, my favorite game is Black Ops. And I tried to get into games. Judge, this is what happened in trial.
Didn't happen. I'm gonna sustain the objection.
Oh, look at that look! Whoa, did you see that?
Mr. Gonna sustain the objection.
Look at that look on his face.
What
Oh
happened
my
to Travis?
God, hold on.
I'm gonna sustain the.
You next. You next. What are you doing? You don't question this man. You don't mess with Ronnie. This man's got bodies under his belt already. You think you're a problem for him? Look at you. Your white hair, your unshapely figure. Ronnie will end you, man. Don't object. Don't object to him.
The objection.
Your Honor, this didn't happen.
Mr. O'Neal,
He asked him-
please don't argue with me. We had a colloquy with the child outside of the presence of the jury, and I think you're confusing those two. Please just stick to the evidence that the jury heard. Thank you.
Okay, so it turns out, I guess, that happened during a conference with the child while the jury was not present. Pretty interesting, though, right? Pretty interesting.
Thank you.
Okay. I believe the jury was sitting right here, Your Honor.
I know.
But
Please
I'm not
don't.
going to argue with
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you. Please just.
I believe the Jews was sitting right here. Now it all comes out. Finally, the Jewish conspiracy has been revealed. Who is writing these fucking subtitles? How do you get... You have to manually add in subtitles on YouTube. Like how are they? It's pissing me off. Maybe I should do that. Oh my God. I was just thinking about this. So one of the things YouTube wants me to do is add subtitles to my videos. So like, oh, that'll increase it, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not, fuck, I just talk. I'm not going to sit down and type out what I said. But if I use like Microsoft Word, I can dictate the subtitles in Word. And then I can just import that file, I think. I'm brilliant.
Continue on.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Nightbot! Get you, fuck you, Nightbot. Nobody wants to hear you. Look at this. Stupid Nightbot. Get out of here. Banned! Oh! Nightbot got fucked over. All right, sorry.
He talked about me smelling like gasoline. If you was doused with gasoline like I was doused and set on fire,
Objection.
you would have been smelling like gasoline too.
Look at his...
Again, this is. Mr.
Look at the look. This guy better be looking over his shoulder every single night. Oh my God.
Been smelling like gasoline
Facts
too.
not in evidence.
Again, this is Mr. O'Neal's argument based upon his interpretation of the facts. The jury can decide whether they find that to be a credible argument or not.
Yeah,
All right?
stop objecting,
You
you...
may proceed, Mr. O'Neal.
Thank you, Your Honor. It was justifiable homicide. And they knew that they could not prove me guilty beyond their such high reasonable doubt that they had to me. So they tampered with the evidence.
You know, I'm not gonna lie.
I
Ronnie's
called
got...
my witness, Khalil Brown, to show you they tampered with the evidence.
He's got nice dimples.
And it's little me up against the machine. So it's hard to prove something when they're all working together.
I agree, yeah.
But I called my witness, who bear witness, I only hit her 3 times. But you hear a video and audio of me hitting her 15 or 11 to 15 times. Insane.
Insane.
I already had admitted to killing her from the jump. I called 911 and said I just killed her because she attacked us. What I got a lie for? That's why I called Khalil Brown.
That's right.
And that's why I called 911. And you wonder why I called my dad, because people do things like this to us.
That's actually, God, that pause is amazing. That's a great 2021 argument, right? Like this guy, he's got his finger on the pulse. I called my dad because, in brackets, I'm black and the system does this to us. My dad knows about that because he's black and he's older than me. There you go. He knows. This is actually a spot on. Like that's a very smart tack. Some of the less smart tacks, talking about how he killed her, reminding the jury that he did kill her and all that stuff. His overall demeanor not helping his case. But this is a good one.
I told you that Kenyatta Barron and my other child's mom have been arguing back and forth the whole day, while me and my son was at my mom and dad's house working on their cars. The evidence showed you that, as my dad, Mr. Smith, and Aisha Robinson, my son's mom, testified to those things.
There you go. Okay.
So the evidence showed you she had ill will or evil intentions. I told you Kenyatta Barron killed my daughter and attacked us. And the evidence shows we all had been cut and we all were burned. I told you that Kenyatta Barron had multiple drugs and medications and drugs, including deliriogenic morphine in her system.
Woo.
And the medical examiner, Miss Mary Mainland, testified to that. You have to realize they will say anything to meet their burden of proof. Mr. Harmon told you he lied to you and said that my son witnessed me shoot his mom and beat his mom to death. I told you that my son did not see me shoot him and beat her to death, that he really didn't see much at all. And the evidence showed you not only that I was telling the truth, but also that his testimony was contradicting and inconsistent to what it was just days and months after the incident.
Well said. Well said.
The firefighter, Mr. Donald Foster, and Mr. Christopher Sanders testified that the house was engulfed in flames and filled with black smoke. And he also told you how he had to crawl on the floor and feel around because you couldn't barely see in front of you, and he only could see from the cab down. This is another reason to doubt what my son was saying, though he's already been inconsistent and told you I did not hurt him. This is another reason to doubt that he actually saw what happened to him and who did it to him. As you saw, he testified that I was standing over him and lit a match. But I reminded him that he did an interview with my counsel and told them that he did not see me set any fires in the house. Nor did he see me, he told Jennifer Miller, nor did he see me pour any gasoline.
Jim from Illinois was Jennifer Miller, by the way.
The firefighter told you that when he looked in, he could only see from the cab down. When you hear this audio,
play it, Ronnie. Play it.
Sunday, March 18, 2018, 23:43 and 10 seconds.
listen in the background.
What is the address you're at? Hello, ma'am.
What you hear in the background is the fire alarm going off.
Where's the gun? Who did this? We have deputies on their way. Who did this?
You hear it in the background.
I hear him yelling Allahu Akbar like 55 times. Does anybody else hear that? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's what it sounds like to me.
In the background.
All right, let's talk strategy here. Let's talk strategy here. It's not a great idea to play the audio of the killing to the jury ever, even if it's justified. Even if it's justified. People dying looks and sounds horrible to normal people, right? Like, unless you're a real denizen of the internet who's gone too deep, there's something deeply offensive and unnerving about watching or hearing someone die. You don't want to do that to the jury, even if you have a justifiable reason. You don't want them to hear that sound because it doesn't sound justified. It sounds horrific. It sounds horrific. That is not a great strategy. The better thing would be to pull up the transcript of the call and talk about what was going on, or really isolate the specific piece of audio from the call that you're trying to get, so you don't hear the horrific banshee wails of the dead coming from Kenyatta Barron.
Even though it's a fraudulent audio, anyway, you hear.
And then alleging that the audio is faked is not a great follow-up to trying to use the audio.
The alarm in the background. That means if I was outside, all that time in the inside, the fire is burning, and then I run outside, and then I come back in, that fire has been burning a long time. The fire was burning before we went outside. So my son might have not seen who actually did the stabbing to him.
Okay.
He told you that he seen me drag his sister from her room to his mom's room. I showed you in the interview under oath with Detective Dirk. He said, was your sister hurt before or after your mom and dad runs outside? He said, before. She's already hurt in her mom's room before we run outside. You hear the fire alarm going off before we went outside, but Mr. Gale here told you that I ran back in immediately and set fire, and he told you that I wasn't cut or burned yet because I hadn't set the fire yet. But you hear a fire alarm before we even go outside.
He should have a chart, right? Like, if you're going to go with a timeline thing to try and show what happens, you should have a chart. Put the timeline up. Say this, you know, their timeline. Here's what the audio says. Do whatever you need to do. But this, like what he just said, is really a complex chain of events to hold in your head to try and visualize. And not everybody is able to visualize a timeline like a Microsoft flow chart or something. It doesn't work that way for everybody. This is where you use a visual aid.
Mr. O'Neal, I don't wish to interrupt you, but it's now 12:20, so I am going to take a lunch recess at 12:30. I just wanted to let you know.
Yes, ma'am.
But that's some... by the way, I don't know what the arrangement was, but closing arguments should never, ever be interrupted by a lunch recess. That happened in the Chauvin trial. I don't know if it was the closing argument, but one of the things it's like they had to stop Nelson in the middle of what he was doing because of a recess. They're like, oh, well, we got this thing coming up. It's like, no, if you're not going to have the time, have them do it after the recess. Don't stop. Like, could you imagine you plan, you prep for your day in court, right? Maybe you're a lawyer, maybe you're representing yourself or whatever. You're Ronnie. Your entire life is on the line here. Your entire life rests in part on this argument. You prep it. You've been working on it for a couple days. You're writing everything down. You're scripting this thing out. You're in the middle of your thing. And the judge is like, oh, by the way, we're going to have a... Look, if you're not done by 12:30, if you're not done in 10 minutes, we're going to have a recess. So, we're going to, then we'll have to stop in the middle. I know I'm stopping you right now in the middle of your argument, but we'll also have to stop you again, have an hour for lunch, come back. You can say your 1 minute to the jury, and then we'll go away. And they need to courts need to figure this out. They need to figure this out because the recess thing in the middle of closing arguments is ridiculous.
Your Honor, can I approach you real quickly? And I don't mean to interrupt the defense.
Yes,
Yep.
you do.
Come on up.
Literally, definitely means to interrupt the closing argument. He does not need... What does a prosecutor need a sidebar for during closing argument? No, the judge muted it. There's about to be a Ronnie Jr. number 5 pretty soon with this judge, I'm thinking.
Do any of you need to take a comfort break? Okay. Go ahead, Mr. O'Neal.
I told you that my son was diagnosed with developmental delay.
Judge, I'm going to object. There's no facts and evidence.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Your Honor, Ms. Carol Lilly testified to that on the stand.
All right, again, I've sustained the objection. The jury can rely upon their own recollection of the evidence, all right?
Well, I mean, come on. It's in testimony. What the fuck? She sustained the objection before he was able to offer his counter to the objection. She should have allowed him to respond.
Your Honor, I told them that in my opening statement.
Please don't argue with me. I have sustained the objection.
I understand. And everybody gonna understand in just a little while. Better believe it. Watch.
See, it's one of those things. And someone said he just won an appeal. That won't win you an appeal. That's not going to win an appeal. Unfortunately. Well, maybe fortunately. Kind of looks like Ronnie did it. I mean, let's be real. But unfortunately, as far as the system goes, I mean, the judge sustained the objection. Judge should have changed her mind and overruled it. If it was offered in evidence, he said it in his opening statement. Why is this objection being, why is it, first of all, objections during opening and closing arguments are disfavored. This prosecutor has done them during both. Second of all, this objection should not have been sustained.
I told you that my son was adopted by a detective who worked in the case. And they went through all of these things together. He had no right or business around my son, neither on duty or off duty, because his interviews were already taken. You're the lead detective in this case, working with the state, and you're going to outside agendas with my son, who you called against me as a witness.
A little bit weird.
And this is after his interviews are already taken. No one cannot tell me he wasn't bribed to say what he said. I told you the evidence would show you that they lied about the excessive strikes you hear in the background of the falsified 911 call. And someone in law enforcement committed a very malicious criminal act by adding all those injuries to and tampering with the body of Kenyatta Barron.
Damn.
The evidence showed you that because my neighbor from across the street, Mr. Khalil Brown, testified to that. He saw me strike her only 3 times. Just like I told you in my opening statement.
My man just taking screenshots?
In addition to that, the medical examiner, Miss Mary Mayman, testified that hitting someone only 3 times couldn't possibly do that type of damage, particularly those 15 lacerations to her head and face. The evidence showed you that not only...
Okay, so I got to get this right. So he's suggesting that after she died, they added injuries to her. How'd she die, though? If he had competent representation, do you think he would have had a chance? No. Not really. I mean, I guess it's possible, but at the end of the day, he admits, like, he killed her. He's arguing justification. Now, he's arguing that if the competent representation was able to competently show evidence tampering, like adding injuries to the body, I mean, maybe, but the odds of that is pretty much no. No.
That not one of the blade, chop, and penetrating weapons had my DNA on them. And FDLE analyst Charlene Webster testified to that for us. The evidence showed you
no DNA on the weapons.
One of the state's witnesses saw anything that happened inside or outside of my home that would be sufficient to disprove or refute my self-defense claim. And they all testified to that for us. I told you I made a call to 911, and so did Kenyatta Barron. And they were both tampered with and altered, and the evidence showed you the strategic omission or wrongdoing I promised to show you during picking the jury. I told you that I was going to show you the evidence, and I've showed it to you, and you're going to have it for yourself to look at when you go back and do your deliberation.
Mithrin Emmer says a bit better organization, proper use of visual aids where needed, and more modulated tone in his delivery. He would have done better. Still would have been found guilty, but better. Yeah, Ronnie has a very inconvenient set of facts. He has a very inconvenient set of facts. One of those facts is that he definitely killed Kenyatta Barron. He admits to it. He's arguing justification. When you're arguing justification, part of the problem is you're admitting to the underlying elements of the crime and then providing justification for those elements. If the jury doesn't buy your justification, then you go to prison forever. So that's a tough set of facts. No matter who you are, that's a tough set of facts to overcome. Justification is not always very clear, and a lot of times you need either strong eyewitness testimony of the justification or you need video evidence of said justification. Ronnie doesn't have either of those.
All of a sudden, these calls go missing from the call log when I ask for an investigation.
Judge, I'm going to object to this repeated reference to him calling for an investigation. There was no such thing. There's no evidence of any such thing.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is just the defendant's closing argument.
Stop objecting, you prosecuck. This prosecutor deserves a punch right in the fucking dick for these objections, by the way. Almost all of them are completely baseless and improper. And seriously, the one objection that was sustained, when Ronnie countered it, he said, this was introduced in evidence. It was testified to on the stand. The judge said, well, you could hear it, you could see it in her face and hear it in her tone that she's like, oh shit, maybe I should have overruled that objection. This prosecutor needs to stop fucking objecting. This is closing argument. Stop it. The judge should, at this point, remind the prosecutor that this is closing arguments and objections are limited. Should do it.
That's what he contends the evidence shows.
I'm finishing up.
Oh, thank God. Endangered species to get a reprieve under Biden administration plans. Woo! See you later, Visigoth.
The state has not met its burden of proof, which they have to meet beyond a reasonable doubt. And I have showed you several reasonable doubts. Reasonable reasons to disbelieve what they're saying to you. Check out the records. No one objected to the things that I said to my son when I rebutted him and refuted his testimony because they know it's actual facts. I gave them page number, line number, date, and the person who interviewed him. Now, I'm not shooting from the hip. I gave you exact information that was taken by the lead detective, the expert, Miss Jennifer Miller, who's an expert at questioning children who've been through traumatic events, and also my counsel, co-counsel, or standby counsel, who was representing me at the time, Ms. Karlyn Borysenko and Jennifer Spradley, took his deposition. And all those facts I told you are actual facts. They knew that, but they still did not object to their own bringing him as a legitimate witness when they already knew I filed a motion.
Judge, objection.
Sustain the objection. Sustain the objection. That's improper for closing argument.
That's all right, because it's going to get out anyway.
Mr. O'Neal, just continue on making your closing argument, please.
That objection was probably proper.
I told you you would find out why Kenyatta Barron was killed. You all seen the pictures of my children. Can I get State's Exhibit really quick? 22C. All right. Hold on one second.
Yeah, so that objection, he was referring to a motion that he made that was probably denied, and that was resolved outside of the jury trial. So that's why that objection was actually probably proper. The jury is limited in what is before it, and to bring up a motion that the court did not grant in closing arguments is not proper. So that's what's going on there. So a couple of questions have come up. Someone asked me if I would defend this guy, like if I would take this case. If someone came to me with a murder case, I'm not a murder defense attorney. I don't have any moral objection or problem with defending a murder case. What I have is not any experience doing it and not sufficient resources to tackle that kind of case. So I would be strongly suggesting that person hire someone who has done murder cases in the past, who has experience doing murder cases. If they really, really push for it and they could pay for it, then maybe, but that would be, they'd be paying me to hire someone to assist with the case and stuff like that. It would, I would just refer them to someone who has done them, has the resources to tackle that sort of thing. My firm was never set up to take that type of case. And I don't see any reason why anybody would hire me to do that. That being said, I have no objection to defending a murder suspect. It's just not really within the purview of what I do. And someone else mentioned, what was it? Oh, yeah, Jay has said, he says, you had motive and opportunity, Ronnie, did your baby mom? Which is an interesting question because according to Ronnie's story, she had motive. The motive that she had, as Ronnie has pointed out, is that Ronnie had had an affair with another woman that resulted in a child. That child is less than 1 year old. And he said Kenyatta was arguing with that baby's mom actually on the day that this occurred. So Ronnie's allegation seems to be something along the lines of that argument, a mental breakdown combined with a bunch of drugs and maybe some white demons, all kind of came together in a cosmic soup, and that she was then persuaded to have a violent episode, kill the daughter. Ronnie says he killed her trying to protect the son. So whether, that's his story. And according to his story, then yeah, she did have motive. Clearly, both of them had opportunity. Everybody has opportunity to kill their own children, typically speaking, because you're in the house with them. That house has plenty of dangerous implements, no matter what house it is. So, like, opportunity is an easy one. It's the question is motive and whether or not they do it. So in this case, again, I'm not suggesting Ronnie is not guilty here. Like, he clearly killed Kenyatta. I don't know whether or not he killed anybody else, but as far as the law is concerned, I mean, the state's made a pretty good case against Ronnie. We've only seen a couple of the arguments that have happened here, and one of the most damning things, in my opinion, is his son telling him on cross-examination that he remembers being stabbed by him. So maybe the son was coached, who knows, but whatever that stuff is ancillary to what the jury is hearing. And the jury is hearing a lot of indications that Ronnie's very guilty.
#22. State's Exhibit 22. This will be fast, Your Honor. I want them to see my daughter. And what I had to see in real time that night.
Judge, again, I'm going to object. This is facts, not evidence.
I'm going to
There's no
sustain the
evidence of
objection.
what he saw.
Please just show the state's exhibit and make your argument from that.
Show you some evidence of what I saw. You heard me.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did this prosecutor... So, what I get, Ronnie is about to show state's evidence number 22. And he's saying it's a photo of his daughter, which allegedly, by inference, I'm thinking it's a photo of his deceased and very, very horrifically injured child. Okay? And so Ronnie said, because this is the only way this makes sense, I want them to understand what I had to see in real time, right? That Ronnie saw this in real time, that this is what Ronnie had to see. Okay? The state just objected. Think about this. The state just objected and said, facts not in evidence. There's no evidence that this is what he saw that night. Excuse me? Are you suggesting that the man who allegedly, that you're accusing of doing the acts to the daughter, did not see what he had done? So, how do you object to that? How do you object to him not see? How do you say there's no evidence that he saw the damage done to his daughter? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Ben.
Yeah, let's go back and just...
I want them to see.
Here we go.
This will be fast, Your Honor. I want them to see my daughter. And what I had to see in real time that night.
Judge, again, I'm going to object. This is facts, not evidence.
I'm going to
There's no
sustain the
evidence of what
objection.
he saw.
Please just...
There's no evidence of what he saw. That's what the judge, or that's what the prosecutor just said. There's no evidence of what he saw. How can you allege that a person just killed someone but didn't see it?
Show the state's exhibit and make your argument from that.
Show you some evidence of what I saw. You heard me. Ben.
I think he needs more backwards distance on his hair. That's pillow saying hair right there. Very flat on the back, like he's laying down on that warm, comfy cement prison bed. He needs some backwards motion on it. You gotta work that.
22 L double L. There we go. Thank you, sir. Your Honor, yeah, public states exhibit 22.
Yes.
J, double J. Look at my baby girl.
Oh, God. Look at that. Did you see the judge's face there? She looked at it and then instant regret on her face for looking at that slide. You know, they don't show us, but watch her face.
Look at my baby girl.
Damn. That's got to be a fucking bad picture.
Look at my baby girl. .22 double K. Look at my daughter.
It's not my dog, it's my daughter. This is another instance where this might not be the best move for the jury. Joseph, 22 was the state evidence file number. State's evidence exhibit 22. So this is one where you probably don't want to, again, you are the defendant accused of doing this, showing the jury. I get where he's trying to go with it, but it's not the best play. It's not the best play. The Cinema Queen jury deliberated for 4 hours. Look at the face. This man hates the prosecutors. That, whatever you believe about Ronnie O'Neal, that is a righteous hatred of prosecutors. Right there. That is, whoa. Every time he looks at that guy, he has got murder on the menu.
And none of you know what it's like to see something like that. You want to say, they want to say that I hit her 15 to 12 times. I was angry enough too, but I didn't. And that's why I brought Khalil Brown.
Oh, fuck.
That's my baby girl, stabbed in the neck.
They just showed it for a second again.
Burned to death.
Okay, Mr. O'Neal, it's 12:30.
One more picture, Your Honor. 22 double N. Look how the firefighter brought her out of the house. That's the after effect. But you don't see while it was going down. In real time, my live daughter burned, bleeding out of her neck.
Not a
one short statement, and that's it. But I told you you would find out why Kenyatta Berry was killed, and you all seen the pictures of my daughter. And you seen the other day, the pictures that they showed you of my son's stomach cut. You seen all of the burns screen burns, third-degree burns on my son, covering 25% of his body. And that's why Kenyatta Barron is dead. Because just like any father would have done the same damn thing and moved in the same similar way that I did out of pure instinct and passion.
You know, I'll give him some props. If he actually is innocent, if it was justified, and again, I'm not saying it is. His testimony and demeanor is very convincing and selling to that fact. Like, that is what he is selling, and he's selling it right. I mean, it's not right for the jury. It's not a good strategy, and you really should not be defending yourself. But if he's a dad who believes he had to do this to save his kid, and because his other kid was killed, you know, he's got the righteous anger down. He's got that down, and I fully believe he's willing to go to jail if he's guilty or if it was justified. And he's like, yeah, but this is what had to be done.
Therefore, if I were to be convicted, it would not be by clear and convincing evidence.
Doesn't need to be by clear and convincing evidence.
I showed you several reasonable reasons not to believe what they're telling you. Check it out for yourself. If they convict me, it would not be by clear and convincing evidence and beyond a reasonable doubt, but by malicious persecution in direct opposition of the 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, which guarantees that a person shall not be deprived of life, limb, liberty, or property without due process in such a manner as this one.
Your due process rights have not been violated.
All right, thank you, Mr. O'Neal. So it's now 12:35. State, how long is your rebuttal?
Judge, I only need about 10 minutes.
Okay. So I tell you what, well, let's go ahead and do this. I'll let the state do their rebuttal, then we will take a really quick lunch break, and I do have a set of final instructions to read to you, which I think are about 50
Okay, I don't have the
pages, so
state
it's gonna
rebuttal
take-
on here. Someone sent me the video that might have the state rebuttal in it, but I don't know if I want to pull that up. The state very methodically, in their opening part of their closing arguments, very methodically lays out the case, and it's you know, it's a whole different world. It's a whole different world. No, yeah, I got your links. They're fine. It's not that. It's just, it's already 1 a.m. And I don't know that I want to go through that again. The state makes a very emotional plea to the jury, and they lay out with the calm demeanor that a lawyer typically would exhibit rather than the shoutingness. And I think that's to the state's advantage in this case. Ronnie, I get the righteous indignation thing, but you're not convincing a group of friends or family members what's going on. You're trying to convince a jury. And unfortunately, like, angry shouting black man, not the best jury convincer. It's not the winning argument. But the jury deliberated for 4 hours, found Ronnie guilty on all charges. All charges. So the sentencing will be at a later date, and it will, that'll take some time. Oh, I was going to show the part of this, the prosecutor's arguments. Just a clip. Here we go.
Right now, closing arguments are underway in a dramatic and very disturbing case we're following out of Florida. Dramatic because the defendant, Ronnie O'Neal, this man, is representing himself in court. And disturbing because he's accused of killing his girlfriend and his disabled daughter in front of the couple's son.
Again, look at how this is playing out in the media for Ronnie when you think about it. So that's the headline. It's disturbing. He's accused of killing them. And look at the footage they play. Silent and just angry. Any passerby who sees this goes, this motherfucker definitely killed them and probably some other people. Are there any unsolved murders in Tampa or the surrounding area that we can pin on Ronnie? That's what anybody who sees this hears. I mean, he looks fucking guilty as shit.
Let's listen together now to a portion of the state's closing argument from this morning.
So his son, Ronnie Blair, at the time, Ronnie O'Neal IV is nearby, even though he doesn't remember that, after he beats Kenyatta Barron to death. And we'll probably talk more about that later. But what that little 8-year-old boy was about to witness was just brutality beyond imagination. As this defendant, Ronnie O'Neal III, went in that house and in front of his son, took an axe, a hatchet, and brutally beat his 9-year-old special needs daughter to death with a hatchet. His 9-year-old daughter, who couldn't even protest, who couldn't even beg for her life the way her mother had just done, who couldn't even say, "Daddy, no, please stop." She was incapable of even that, of begging for her life. But that didn't stop the defendant. Then after he beat his daughter to death with a hatchet, he doused her in gasoline and set her on fire in the master bedroom and closed the door.
I just want to point out one thing. If Ronnie had said the same thing, the prosecution would have objected and said facts not in evidence, because there was no witness that testified to Ronnie killing the daughter. I just want to point that out. So let's be very clear here. What the prosecution did was not wrong there. They're making an argument. They're telling a story. The prosecution was right to do this in their closing argument. They were wrong in objecting to Ronnie's interpretation and recitation of the event. That's what they were wrong to do. And I wanted to highlight this moment and point it out, because when I'm talking about the prosecution making improper objections about what Ronnie saw or his present state of mind at the time during his closing statements, Ronnie's recitation of the timeline is his recitation of the timeline. The prosecution gets to do that without objection. They should have extended the same courtesy to him. Now, the one objection that was definitely correct was on the motion. The motion that was heard not by a jury, not in front of a jury, was resolved outside of the jury trial. That should not have been brought in by Ronnie. And that is just Ronnie not understanding process, not being a lawyer. That's a proper objection. The other objections were really, really improper. And again, It doesn't matter the guilt or innocence of Ronnie when we're talking about the process here. And prosecutors pull this shit all the fucking time because prosecutors run life on easy mode. They practice law on games journalist mode, and it's really fucking irritating. They do it all the time, and they get away with shit all the time.
And then he focuses his rage on his son, his 8-year-old son, stabbing him repeatedly in the neck and in the abdomen, attempting to eviscerate him, and then he pours gasoline on him. The jacket that Ronnie O'Neal IV, now Ronnie Blair, was wearing that night was sent off to the fire lab, and Perry Kusiafis, the lab chemist, told you that tested positive for the presence of an accelerant. Was in an ambulance being transported to a soccer field so he could be choppered to Tampa General Hospital. He regains consciousness, and he tells Lieutenant Veronica Vitti, "My dad shot my mom," or "My dad killed my mom." She wasn't sure which, but she remembered it was one of those two.
Just heinous crimes, the state of Florida.
Okay, so there you go. There's part of the opening statement, just heinous crimes. And then they have part of Ronnie's statement there, but we just watched his whole thing, so nothing else to do with that. There's that's Kenyatta Barron, who is now very deceased. Very deceased. Is Ronnie going to be in prison with the Tiger King? No, probably not. Ronnie is charged with a state homicide in Florida. The Tiger King was charged with federal felonies. So he's in a federal prison. So that being said, there we go. There is the story of Ronnie O'Neal and Kenyatta Barron. We'll have to check out the sentencing. Question is, will Ronnie get the death penalty? Because that is what he's facing. He is in Florida, which is still a hashtag-based and red-pilled state that still has the death penalty, and he is facing it. He is a prime candidate for the death penalty. Prime candidate. Very likely outcome. Death penalty on this one. All right, let me get this Victoria's Secret thing pulled up. Oh, I want to point out that the 25th, which is what? Is that Friday? Derek Chauvin. On the 25th, Derek Chauvin's sentencing hearing happens. I should be live streaming that sentencing hearing. I think it starts at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. So, if you want to hang out and watch Derek Chauvin get somewhere between 20 and 40 years in prison, come hang out. Come hang out. That'll be an interesting watch. We'll do a watch party in the middle of the thing. Riots to happen, most likely, no matter what. Now, I think Chauvin's going to get 30 years. I think Chauvin's going to get 30 years in prison. That's double the sentencing guidelines. There were 4 aggravating factors. That makes sense. Some people think that it's going to be around 20 years, which would be splitting between the recommended sentence and the double. No way to know. Whatever Peter Cahill decides to do, that's up to him. He gets to make that call. He has all of the evidence he needs to go ahead and sentence him for double or more if he wants to do it. But I think 30 years is on the menu. Has a nice ring to it, that 30-year penalty as far as this goes. Mithrin Emrys says part of the reason prosecutors get away with it is because they are typically assigned to that court. They appear before the same judge multiple days a week and become very familiar with the judge. Oh, yeah. In my courthouse, the prosecutor's office is down the hall from the judge's office. They are in their co-workers with the judge for somewhere between 3 and 6 hours a day. And that's just the reality. It is and when they're not co-workers with them in the courtroom, they're literally down the hall. Literally down the hall. It is a corrupt system in favor of the state. There's no, I'm not even talking about specific bad acts from any specific prosecutor. The current prosecutors who are in office, they didn't do anything to make it that way. It's just the way the system is set up. The criminal justice system is set up to disfavor you and to favor the state. Remember that. Anytime you want to talk about Ronnie or any other defendant, and they may be very fucking guilty, okay? They may be. And we may find out about their various guilt and innocence. But remember that in that guilt, they are up, no matter who they are up against an unfair system. It's set up that way because despite all of the protections they put in, the state always is going to drift towards favoring itself. You know, the state's got to have prosecutors and the state's got to have judges, right? The state pays the judge. They fund the judicial branch, but they also fund the executive branch of the state. And look, I mean, do we want to have 2 buildings? I mean, 2 buildings that's a bit much for the budgeting process, right? Wouldn't it be cheaper to have 1 building and just, have the judges a little ways away from the prosecutors so they don't talk? I mean, that'd be silly if they had the same break room. They might talk, but that's crazy. They're not going to do that. Why would they do that? Why would people get together and talk? The state is opposed to itself all the time. It's not even nefarious. It's just practical implementation of the system. That's why beyond a reasonable doubt is a thing. The problem is, beyond a reasonable doubt is a thing only in name right now. Only in name is beyond a reasonable doubt a thing. In practice, it is not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's preponderance of the evidence. Let's not even get into how the media has conditioned people who will serve on a jury away from skepticism of the state and towards skepticism of the defendant. Let's not even get into the overall impact of shows like Law and Order and all of these all of the media. The mainstream popular media, the mainstream press is engineered to favor the state in their reporting and how they do things. And therefore, all of the potential jurors, they're not corrupted on this case. Just literally everything else they've ever seen about a case has defendants going to prison. Just all of the exposure they have to the court system is someone chopping up like a 5-year-old, right? Like that's it. And going to prison for it forever. Or when they don't go to prison because they're who is the mother of the year? Was that not Jodi Arias, the other one? Who pretty much definitely killed her kid, but went free. But even think about what I'm saying there. Casey Anthony, that's the name. Casey Anthony, not guilty. Everybody believes that Casey Anthony did it. Why? It sure looks like Casey Anthony did it. The media has pegged Casey Anthony as the murderer of that child. Just how it is. And so they may not be prejudiced in a particular case. And that's what you have to argue if you want to get a conviction overturned. But Generally, the public is prejudiced against defendants, period, and in favor of the state, period. That's why the conviction rate is so high. That's why juries are not skeptical anymore. Never skeptical of the state. Have you ever heard of a jury going in and going, you know what? The state's looking pretty fucking sus on this one. No. Of course not. Why would the state be sus? It's always the defendant who is. So anyway, just remember that. It's always a system that is engineered, not intentionally, just by default of the state grasping its own power to be set apart against defendants. All right, here we go. This is a different case, though. Six Connecticut women plead guilty to Victoria's Secret fraud that cost the company $100,000. 6 women from Hartford, Connecticut have pleaded guilty to a wire fraud scheme that allegedly involved buying and returning items to transfer cash to debit cards. Six Connecticut women have pleaded guilty in a scheme that involves stealing tens of thousands of dollars worth of Victoria's Secret merchandise, federal prosecutors said. A 7th person is awaiting trial. The scheme involved returning stolen merchandise as if the item's receipt had been lost, being given a gift card worth the stolen item's value. The gift card was then used to purchase an item that was slightly more expensive using a debit card to cover the remainder of the cost. The purchased item was returned with a receipt, except the full balance, which included the value of the stolen item was credited back to a debit card. So they would go in, they'd steal a pair of panties or whatever, like a $6 pair of panties, and then they'd go in and they'd return the pair of panties to Victoria's Secret, say, oh, you know, I don't have the receipt. I got this as a gift from my mom, which is weird. And, you know, I don't have a receipt. And they go, oh, okay, well, we'll put it on a gift card for you. So then they go, okay, cool. They take the gift card, they buy a $20 item, and then they return the $20 item back on their debit card. You know, $6 from the gift card, $14 from the debit card. They return it, they get $20 back on their debit card. That means they got their $6 in stolen goods. And they did this enough. They did this enough to gain $100,000. Do you know how often you have to do this? Just work. 6 people. This is 6 people. 7. 100 grand? What's 100,000 divided by 7? Like 15 grand? It's a part-time job. Just work a part-time job. Just get a job at Victoria's Secret. Part-time. You'll make more money. Why would you do this? This is so much work. So much fucking work. The wire fraud scheme resulted in a loss of more than $100,000 to L Brand stores in Connecticut and Massachusetts. L Brand's own Victoria's Secrets and other companies like Pink and Bath & Body Works did not immediately respond for a request. The scheme took place in 2019. $100,000 across 7 people. Let's. $14,285.71 per person. So yeah, 14.3 divided by what? $10 an hour. Let's see. So 1,400 hours. 1,400 hours of work each. It's like a 70% of a full-time job at $10 an hour. I don't know what's Victoria's Secret starting pay? They pay $12 an hour. That's the typical sales associate. $12 an hour. I mean, they could have done. This blows my mind. This is why people thought that I would steal. Remember, let me contextualize this a little bit. When I started the GoFundMe for Vic, and it was at about $30,000. It was at about 30 grand. People were like, oh, Nick is going to steal the money. That I was going to steal the money from the GoFundMe and like run away. And I'm like, $30,000. Who in their right mind would risk federal wire fraud charges for $30,000? Doesn't make any sense. Right? Doesn't make any sense to risk prison time for that much money to me. But apparently, these people were willing to do it for 14 grand each. Brain Damage says, but you're a lawyer already. Yeah, but I'm not like a well-paid lawyer. I'm not in a big city. I'm not a top 1% of Yale law graduate in New York. Right? Those are the guys who start out making 180 grand a year. The average, okay, so lawyers' starting pay has a double peak. It has a 2-peak system, okay? There's the metro peak for big metro areas and top 10% of graduating class from the big schools. They start at like 180 grand a year. Huge amount of money. Very cool. Great job. More power to them. You live in a downtown area. You're grinding out 60 to 80 hours a week. It's a hard fucking job. I can't do it. I never could. I would never, ever want to. Never would want to do that. Ever. Ever. The other peak, the other median income for lawyers is around $58,000 a year, which is not a bad job. But considering most lawyers just spent somewhere around $100,000 to $150,000 on their education, 58 grand isn't all that much. So people have this idea that lawyers make a huge amount of money. They can. It can be a very, very lucrative profession. Don't always do it, though. It's a good living. It's a good living. Now, it depends on what kind of law you practice, too. Because if you practice personal injury law, right, and you work on contingency, well, then you're going to make 30% to 40% on a contingency fee of whatever you get an award on. Then I have friends who have, who have gotten settlements of $200,000 to $300,000. You get a settlement of $200,000 to $300,000 on like an employment claim or something like that. You take 40% or let's say 30%. So they're getting 60 to 120. Wait, $60,000 to $90,000, right? On their thing, but they don't get that. The law firm gets $60,000 to $90,000, and then they get some cut of that. And that's a great payday. That's a great payday. But they don't get that all the time. You don't always get a couple $100,000 settlement. You don't always have $1 million case. They're not that common for most lawyers to have those. Now, you work in a big firm, maybe you get paid a salary because that big firm is churning out those big victory cases all the time. But a lot of those lawyers are getting paid a salary based on, the work that they do on a case or whatever. And they're just, they're contributing a small part to a whole bunch of cases. So they're not getting a piece of the pie. It's not a straightforward profession of making money. And if anybody asks me, should I go into law because they get paid a lot? I would always tell them, no, do not do it. There's so many places where you can pay way less for education and make the same, if not a lot more than the average starting salary for a lawyer. If you want to work downtown New York, you want to work 60 to 80 hours a week, grinding away at a big firm, yeah, go ahead. You can do really well in law school, make a lot of money. But it's not the thing. So remember that I was a very, very small town lawyer. Very, very small town lawyer, independent lawyer. I would have loved to be making $200,000 a year in my law practice. It wasn't a thing. $30,000 would have been a lot of money. At the time that Vic's GoFundMe was hitting $30,000, would have been a lot of money. It still is. I'll take 30 grand right now. Please hand it over. I've got a bunch of bills to pay. It would have been great. Doesn't matter when in my life. When I was working for minimum wage at Circuit City, when I was working for minimum wage at a movie theater, when I was working barely above minimum wage at Wells Fargo, it doesn't matter. I would have never taken $30,000 at the risk of going to prison, ever. And I thought that was a very foreign concept. These people, again, they're going to prison over 14 grand each. That's the saddest shit I've ever heard. It's the saddest shit I've ever heard. I wonder who it is. Let's see if we can find out. Victoria's Secret fraud case. Oh, come on now. Why? Why do we do this? Does anybody want to try and guess the name? Let's see. Here we go. Leonard C. Boyle, acting U.S. Attorney for District of Connecticut, and William S. Walker, acting Special Agent in charge of Homeland Security of Investigations in Boston, announced that Sharnice Jackson of Hartford pleaded guilty on Tuesday to conspiracy offense related to a scheme to defraud Victoria's Secret. Jackson and others. Wait, this is district court judge? Oh, let's find it. Let's find everybody. Hold on. We have the power of Pacer. Finding parties. Jackson. Sharnice. Oh, there it is. All right. Who are the fucking plaintiffs? Sealed indictment. Case is unsealed. Okay. Come on. Why? Why? Why does it have to? Come. It shouldn't be a stereotype. It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. Why does it have to always be a stereotype? It couldn't just be like Leslie Smith, right? Like, if it was just like Leslie Smith, you'd be like, oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. All right, we've got Debran Moore, a.k.a. Debran Chanel, Shamonique Mackey, Dijah Fagan, Tamaja Hunter, Sharnice Jackson, Leona Jones, and Imani Aitchison. Victoria's Secret is an American lingerie, clothing, and beauty retailer. Retail stores are often located in shopping malls. All times relevant to this indictment, there were Victoria's Secret stores located in the mall. Debran Moore, known as Debran Chanel. Of course, of course. Let's see if she's got a social media presence. I wonder. Debran Chanel. Let's see. Okay, I don't see anything for Debran Chanel. Wait, there's Deborah Chanel. But she's from Texas. That's not her. I was hoping to find like an Instagram or something. Shamonique Mackey. Shamonique? You know, when you name your kids something... Oh, no. She's got a LinkedIn? In Connecticut. Here we go. She's a certified nursing assistant. Oh, there's no... Damn it. Let's see what we got. Oh, they don't have any pictures. Oh, she's got a Facebook. There's a lot of Shamonique Mackeys. There we go. That's Shaniqua Mackey. No, that's not what I'm looking for. All right. Oh, does she have... She has a TikTok? I don't know if this is her. I don't know if this is her, but this is her. This is a TikTok for Shamonique Mackey. Y'all ready for this? Let's see what we got here. Oh, wait, I don't want...
For me. She gon' ride for me. She say that don't lie.
Okay, this is her. I don't know if this is actually her. Is she just... She's literally just doing portions of the Ride For Me song. She's just lip syncing. This is all she's doing? Literally everything she's doing is just lip syncing. Okay. I don't know if this is her. I don't know if this is her. Okay, where the fuck did my... Nope. Wrong one. Where's the... Here it is. Too young. These chicks are all like 20. Okay, anyway. Beginning at least as early as February and continuing through last October, co-conspirators devised a scheme through which they defrauded L Brands out of thousands of dollars. Generally involved return the merchandise, no original receipt, redeeming of gift cards for merchandise, and then selling them again. This explains it that they're so young, by the way. That's what really explains it. The 20-year-olds, you know, for them, I guess for them, you know, you're 20 years old, you've barely seen any money in your entire life. You might be employed, you might not. I guess 15 grand looks really good. Part of the conspiracy, the conspirators opened checking accounts in the D.C. District of Connecticut at branch locations of TD Bank, American Eagle Federal Credit Union, Nutmeg State Federal Credit Union, and other financial institutions that were engaged in commerce. Issued debit cards. Would and did take by theft, steal, shoplift, embezzle, otherwise through illegitimate means to obtain merchandise from Victoria's Secret stores. He redeemed it. All right. We got federal wire fraud charges. So, first one is a conspiracy. Right? Conspiracy to commit wire fraud. The others is actually committing the fucking wire fraud, counts 2 through 8. Holy shit. Look at this. That is going to do you in. That is going to do you in. Fucking $220 up to $810. They got to forfeit the money and any property again used in it as well. Holy shit. Let's see if we can find any of these chicks. Dijah Fagan. Cashier. That's in Delaware. This is probably her. No. Looks like Dijah Fagan has a YouTube channel, but no actual content on it. What else do we got? We've got Tamijah Hunter. Oh, is this... There's a Twitter. What do we got here? Tamijah Hunter. This chick looks pretty young. I don't know. But remember, these girls are all like 20 years old. Tamijah Hunter. I don't know if she has no tweets, no replies. She just has a Twitter. Let's see. What else we got here? Sharnice Jackson. We looked up Sharnice Jackson. Leona Jones. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. We got a mugshot for Leona Jones. We got a mugshot, finally. Here's Leona Jones. And here's Leona Jones, and here's Shatoya Lewis. Shatoya Lewis. So. Both 18. All these girls are real young, by the way. This is back in 2017. Oh, this is a previous one. Shatoya Lewis. This is from or Leona Jones. This is a previous thing. This is back in 2017, before her newest criminal scam. Multiple thefts in the region were arrested this weekend after allegedly stealing thousands of dollars of merchandise at the mall at Rockingham Park. Stealing thousands of dollars worth of clothing from Macy's. They were charged with an organized retail crime enterprise in which 2 or more people worked together to steal items. Jones was additionally charged with disobeying an officer, possession of a residual amount of marijuana, transporting drugs in a motor vehicle, and driving with a suspended license. There you go. This is the shit that's going on in these streets. These chicks are. They're in it, man. They are in it. Woo! That whiskey is sitting nice, by the way. It's sitting real nice right now. We got a nice buzz going. I think what we should do is probably read the chats, end the show, go over to Twitch. It's video game night. I'm going to try out Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance. Not Baldur's Gate. I'm going to try out Dark Alliance, see how that goes. I heard it's a buggy, terrible mess, but that's what we're here for. Eldon Bainling, it doesn't matter if it's a shitty, buggy mess. I'm going to be bad at it either way. I've been waiting for this game. I want to play it. Caddy Bree's no longer redhead. Caddy Bree's a piece of shit. Elves suck. Elves can die in a fire. No one likes elves. By the way, we are at 814 likes. So if you guys do want to hit the like button and get me to 1,000 and make me embarrassed with another shot of this whiskey, which I've already drank too much of, you can go ahead and do that while I read the chats. So here we go. Your kid says, oh no, dad's about to walk into an anime convention. Disappears from existence. Silky Johnson says, yo, Nick, you see this Chad dad pull his cock out and slap the school board, leaving a First Amendment mushroom stamp on their forehead. Fucking beautiful stuff to see, man. I did not. Let me pull that up real quick. It's 2 minutes. Let's take a look at this. Guys, critical race theory. Critical race theory is not popular. I don't know if you guys have noticed. It is not going over well. It's like people don't like being told that their kids are racist. That's the trick here. here we go.
Going to
I am
quote
asking
to
you
you,
to make
solicitor.
your comments,
I'm
but
quoting.
do not
Just
do
a minute. Do
name
not
calling
talk
like
over
you
me.
just did.
This is my comment, not your comment. I'm quoting to you now from the United States Supreme Court 1964 case, New York Times versus Sullivan. This
Based fucking immigrant, by the way. We're not from Australia, because that's fake as shit. What is he, a Brit Bong? Is this a Brit Bong telling Americans how freedom works? Holy shit.
is constitutional case law in this country, and I'm quoting you from the U.S. Supreme Court. The judges wrote that this nation is founded on the, quote, profound national commitment to the principle that debate on public issues shall be uninhibited, robust, and wide open, and that it may well include vehement, caustic, and sometimes unpleasantly sharp attacks on government and public officials. That's constitutional case law in this nation. I don't have to be nice to you. Nobody behind me has to be nice to you.
Yeah! Fuck you, govcucks! Get wrecked! Stretch out those anuses! Shut up and sit there and listen! Fuck you! Yeah! Oh, my freedom boner is giant right now.
If you don't like living in the United States of America, then you can all move to Russia, Cuba, or China.
Get the fuck out! Get out, you commie school board Nazi dictating pieces of shit! Get out! Fuck you! Get out! Get out! You don't want to be here. You don't want it here. You're not welcome. Get out!
This is the First Amendment.
Listen to that crowd. Woo! Woo! Women are taking their shirts off and throwing underwear at this guy. Yeah!
And I will caution you, solicitor. There is a video camera to my left. If you edit this tape, then you're going to have a big legal problem on your hands, because my right to critique your fascism, which is what this is constitutionally protected. There are emails, public record emails, in which the Director of Equity is lobbying and advocating for public comment to be censored in this school district. And you know what?
Get all school boards out! Almost said build the gallows, but that was a joke. Don't want that to be misinterpreted. Get it out. Start the tar pots boiling. Get the feathers ready. Feather the chickens. I don't care if the chickens are even dead yet. We can find live chickens. They don't need feathers. What is this? Give them a heater. Put them in a hot tub. Who cares? Make soup. Fuck it. Get it ready. Get the tar and feathers ready. We are founded on a whole bunch of distrust for these motherfuckers lording over us. And every day, they're like, oh, you can't say that to a representative. I can say whatever I goddamn well please to these people. They're barely people. They're government.
You know what? Lobbying for it, advocating for it. We've got the school board president saying she'll do better at hitting the mute button in blatant violation of the Constitution. For her lobbying and her advocacy of unconstitutional censorship, I want you, the school board, to terminate the employment of Dr. Charissa Gibson with immediate effect.
Who the fuck is Charissa Gibson? I don't even know who this is. Charissa Gibson. Let's see, Dr. Charissa Gibson, right? Dr. Charissa Gibson. Pennsbury High School administrator takes on equity role. Equity and diversity. Okay, so here's the underlying story. This is from back in 2020. Let's take a look at this. I don't know about this fucking weird place. Weeks after announcing their plan to create a director of equity, diversity, and education, the Pennsbury School Board has appointed a high school assistant principal for the newly created role. Dr. Charissa Gibson was appointed last week and immediately began the job that will oversee coordinating and guiding all efforts to define, understand, assess, foster, and cultivate equity among the district students, faculty, and staff. Let's break this down real quick. If you're not aware, equity is not equality. Equity is the opposite of equality. Equity is to favor one party to bring them to some level of parity with the other party. It is an outcome-oriented equality rather than an origin-oriented equality. So you use equity in, there are actually courts of equity. So in contract law, what you do in some cases where you don't have a clear legal victory, you use principles of equity. Equity is not a principle of law. Let's say the job is to build a wall. You're going to build a wall. That wall is going to cost $20,000. Let's say they only build half of the wall. And then you don't want to pay them because you're like, well, you didn't build the wall. But they did. They built half of it. So at equity, you say, well, the contract, or at law, you say the contract wasn't complete. You don't get a $20,000 check because you didn't complete it. But then they say, but I put forth half of the labor required. I'm just unable to complete it for whatever reason. And so they say, well, they'd have to go ahead and hire someone to finish the other half. So they'd have to put the other half of the labor and materials in. You only put half the labors and materials in. Equity says, we make you whole by giving you $10,000. Okay, you did half the work, you get half the pay. It's not this simple. It's never this simple. But this is a simplified version of equity for the idea. So the outcome is everybody is made whole, even though the legal principles don't support the wholeness of either party. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That's what equity is in legal principle. When you try to bring equity in as a societal principle, you get a big fucking mess because you say, well, at the outcome, we want everyone to be equal at the end. Everyone's supposed to be where they're supposed to be. And so that means that in the beginning, earlier on, you have to favor someone to raise their thing. Basically, if you have equity at the outcome and one person makes $100,000, then everyone has to make $100,000, or the $100,000 has to be reduced until you've met an average for everybody to be at the same outcome. That is not a principle that government can reasonably apply. Equity doesn't make sense from a government perspective because it inherently favors one party over another to a higher degree to produce an equal outcome because nobody starts at the same place. There's a whole bunch of things that go into it. The only proper way to deal with a government policy is equality, which means an equal treatment from the government. The outcome is going to be different. That's part of the system. We don't want to be the same. Trust me, you do not want to be the same. Because an equitable outcome for the United States means literally everyone, even the most impoverished people in the United States, takes a pay cut. Terrible fucking plan. So there you go. That is the difference between equity and equality. I hope I have laid that out for you. In June, School Board President T.R. Cannon said the district planned to focus on the issues of equity and diversity in the school system of roughly 10,200 students. Of the student population, about 76% are white, 7% Asian, 7% black, 5% are mixed race, 4% are Hispanic, 0.5% American Indian or Pacific Islander. Students at recent school board meetings have made their voices heard about increased diversity and changing some educational materials to provide better context on historical events and figures. Her new role will take the lead in areas, according to the district, conduct a process to analyze systemic policies and practices to ensure implementation and allocation, leading to rigorous academic achievement for all students, develop a mission, vision, and action plan that focuses the district's equity work in a manner that is inclusive, transparent, and measurable. You know this is fake because there is no such thing as rigorous academic achievement in a public school. It's not a real thing. It's rigorous relative to the other part, but that's like saying that an egg noodle is firm compared to a ramen noodle when they're both cooked. I mean, yeah, compared to a ramen noodle, an egg noodle might have more consistency and texture, but it doesn't mean fucking anything. It's still a soft noodle. Work closely with the directors of elementary, secondary, and special education in adopting inclusive pedagogies and curricula that include the study of race, gender, ethnicity, class, sexual orientation, religion, and their intersections. So elementary school kids are going to study this. Race, gender, ethnicity, class, sexual orientation, and religion's intersectionality. Design and provide professional development that enhances cultural proficiencies for all staff, students, and members of the community. This is white guilt training. Facilitate community-based educational opportunities, including broad stakeholder groups. This is white guilt training for parents. Collaborate with the HR department to promote the recruitment, employment, and retention of a workforce reflective of district demographics. This is race-based hiring, by the way. Work with colleagues in universities for the placement of student teachers in the Pennsbury schools with a focus on diversity. This is race-based student-teacher programming. Assist educators in creating culturally supportive learning environments that ensure high expectations for the academic achievement of all students. Culturally supportive. I guess that means what? They're going to support cultures that don't have as high of expectations. The soft bigotry of low expectations. Right? Promote extracurricular activities that focus on equity and diversity for students and encourage student attendance at such activities. Support the district's Title IX coordinator for student-parent inquiries. Oh, yes. Title IX, everybody's favorite. Work in collaboration with the Director of Student Services in relation to Act 44 and the completion of the Civil Rights Report. Participate in the Board Policy Committee in relation to the adoption and implementation of board policies that involve equity, diversity, and prevention of discrimination and harassment of students and staff. For federal program coordination to ensure equitable distribution of appropriate resources. Not equal distribution, equitable, which means that certain demographics are going to receive a higher distribution. It's just how it's going to go. So here we go. This is what's going on. So let's go back to here. Let's finish up this Britbong's sentiments.
And after you've terminated her employment, I want all of you to tender your resignations for hating on this country. We have a God-given constitutional right to critique you, and we can speak in any lawful tone that we see fit. And don't go looking around, Benito, because this is the United States of America.
Yeah, fuck you, Benito!
One more thing. I want to make a verbal request right now for an unedited copy of the tape. So if any of you delete it, you're going to have a big legal problem. Good night.
Yeah, fuck you, Benito! Don't go looking for shit. Get wrecked. Oh my goodness. That guy was great. Guys, parents are pissed about critical race theory. They are fucking mad. They may have actually overplayed their hand. I didn't think it was possible. Repost it on my Twitter. I'll retweet it right now. Just a regular retweet. It's right there. I didn't think America was at a place where overplaying hands could happen, but apparently it is. It is there. And parents are fucking mad about it. They made the mistake. They fucked with parents as kids. All they had to do, just stay out of the schools. If they never, ever went into the schools on this stuff, parents would be asleep. Someone says betting Nick had his kids in public schools so he could yell at these people. No, my kids are homeschooled. They're not in public school. All right. Reese1 says, hey, Nick, so I finally got to send out that book. Hopefully you'll be able to use it for many streams worth of poetic content. I have a tracking number and need to know how to get it to you reliably. Sorry it took so long. Customs was a bitch to navigate. Don't know why. I mean, if you send it to my P.O. box, that's the best way to get it to me. But, oh, the tracking number. Just email it to me. Email me the tracking number. Ahmed, the Uber driver, says, Nikki Rackets, I do not understand what the prosecutor means. 9 is old enough for marriage to Muhammad, but not burning for white demon sin. This country is lunatic. Malik Foxen says, the frick? I didn't get any notification you were streaming tonight. Susan, what gives? Oh, dude, it's notifications on live streams are over. They're done. They're done. You got to follow on Locals or Twitter or Gab or Minds or Verified to get the live stream notification. You're never going to get one from YouTube again. YouTube is constantly, like, let's be real. YouTube is fucking baffled. They're like, we are trying to keep people from watching your show, but they just keep showing up and they just keep sending super chats. We don't know what to do. We're trying to make it stop, but you're still one of the top super chat earners on the platform. What the hell do we do about it? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. You keep doing shit to keep people off my stream. You have cut viewership by a significant amount over the past year through your actions. I didn't do anything different. I'm doing the same fucking show I've always done. And you guys keep, and they're like, oh, no, we don't do that. And I'm like, well, I don't know then. I don't know what to tell you. But people keep showing up, and I assume they're going to keep showing up. And it's great. It's great that they do. But listen, YouTube is not on board with this. YouTube is not on board with this show. They are baffled by this show. It drives them fucking crazy. And you guys showing up and supporting it blows their mind. They don't know what to do. Because I'm not making shitty food online. I'm not showing videos of cats. And I'm not a Democrat quoting SNL. They're like, and I'm not Tim Pool giving the most mediocre and weird fucking takes on the planet on a whole bunch of news stories that no one cares about. They don't know what to do. You guys hit the 1,000 like goal, as you always do. Thank you. Crusader Saracen says, when I heard the names of the defendants in the Connecticut theft case, I also heard Drex laughing and all the way from over here. Don't lie to me, you did too. He was, I can feel his disappointment through the computer screen. Racist School Board says, finally we will implement critical race theory and censor any debate or pushback on. The fuck is that? Oh my gosh. See, you guys got me drinking and now you have to deal with this. I have something to show you. Where is it? Where is it? This. I assume you guys saw this, but if you didn't see it on my Twitter, this is an old video, but it's a great edit.
You ain't got no problem. What are you gonna do? 来るぞ。
That is the perfect fucking representation of when these little Antifa cucks show up and the men are already present. The men are already there. And they get unmanned over and over and over. They have no fucking idea. Bam! He just sticks his hand out. The God hand, and catches the fist. And he's like, Nani? Right? Like, the kid had no fucking idea what hit him. He had no choice. Real quick, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the original video, because you have to see this kid's fucking face. You have to see his face when he gets stopped. Here we go. It's muted, but bam! Look at him. No. Oh. He turns and leaves because he got so absolutely bodied just by a hand, by a small percentage of a man. This boy was turned away. Oh, I love that fucking video. Woo! Bass Brit Bong in the Rafter says, your worst nightmare, butthorn. McBain! Yeah! That one guy says, I wish we had been this passionate the last 50 years. When these same schools were brainwashing kids to be socialists, concerned trolls, scream about how evil white people and Christians are on the internet. Where was the anger and frustration back then? The offense against the children wasn't as egregious then. Parents weren't awake because they didn't need to be. They didn't need to be awake for this. They didn't think, right? Like, they didn't think they needed to be awake. Oh, yeah, I mean, they're going to get some liberal commie nonsense or whatever. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then parents have been watching their kids go in, sweet little, like, you know, blonde-haired daughters or whatever. Oh, I love school and people, and coming out as hateful, blue, short-haired monsters. If they're lucky, they stay female. If they're lucky, they're just a blue, short-haired feminist, instead of literally turning into some hideous conglomeration of man. Like, that's the good outcome right now. And parents have been going, what the fuck? And now, critical race theory, they're like, oh, now I get it. Now I get it. So that's what was going on back then. They didn't see it. They didn't see it. Crusader Saracen says, speaking of the YouTube powers that be, you get your silver play button yet? Or is YouTube still playing fuck games with that? No, I got it a long time ago. I showed it on stream a couple times. I don't even know where it is right now. It's probably on one of these shelves. That one guy said, oh, you sent the same thing like 3 times, buddy. I'll take it. I mean, that's money for me, but you sent the same message 3 times. Malik Foxton says that man was using 0.0002% of his power. Yeah. I'm just saying 92 says, hey, Vic, you're second to none at what you do and are an incredible human being. I have 2 questions for you. Why the skinny jeans? And are you a cigar aficionado, or is it just occasional? Keep it up. Vic's not here tonight. That's tomorrow. Nya says, but is there Vic news? No, there's no Vic news. Leetman says, I'm in Connecticut. My homeowners association had our monthly open session meeting, and they wouldn't let me in because I wasn't vaccinated. What should I do? I don't know. I have no idea. I guess you got to check your bylaws. You got to check your bylaws on your HOA. Asian bust of the uncanny valley says, I wish we had a Bill of Rights in Australia like the US, but we don't, and our rights get taken away. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, I've been fighting against that for years. All these fucking Euro cucks coming out and be like, oh, well, we're just as free as the US, chum, mate, compadre, cabron. No, you're not. No, you're not. We're barely free. We're not even, I don't even consider us free, but we're barely hanging on by the dick to freedom. Like, we're swinging below Annika Sorenstam like Tarzan with that stretched out feminine penis hanging out of her skirt. We're like, la, 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 hoping and praying to God that someone doesn't come in with a pair of shears and snip that off. We are barely holding on to freedom. You guys, Europe, Canada, Australia, long fucking dead. You've been dead forever, but you have a bunch of dumb fucking cucks in your country who have somehow convinced you that, oh no, we're just as free as the Americans, mate. You're not. And we're not even free. And you're far, far down the ladder. You are lucky to be even barely able to speak, but you can't speak freely, and you know it. We can't speak freely on YouTube. We're sucking off the corporate teats here. We're navigating these corporate waters of free speech, right? But at least the government is fucked in stopping us. Corporations, you know, they get to do it all the time. By the way, I have a fucking rant about YouTube and all these dumb motherfuckers out here saying, well, it's a private platform. They can keep what they want on their private platform. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I was screaming at someone over the phone about this the other day. YouTube enters into a partner agreement with us, with the creators, when they decide to monetize a channel. I was talking about my friends Doug, Tenaple, and Q, Out of the Darkness Q, getting yeeted off of YouTube, right? And I was talking to someone, and the idea is that, well, YouTube can have whatever they want on their platform. They actually can't do that. I mean, they can at the onset, but once they enter into a partner agreement with someone, we're no longer in this weird little social media sphere that everybody pictures, right? Everybody pictures the Twitter license agreement, the YouTube agreement. Oh, you made a YouTube account. You can upload some videos or whatever, but you got to abide by our guidelines. No. The partner agreement is separate. And the way to envision the difference is this. When you go to YouTube as just a normal person, you're like, I'm going to make a YouTube account to watch videos, right? You're not going to try and monetize videos and make a bunch of stuff. You may upload something here and there. You're not trying to make a YouTube video to make money on ads or anything like that. You're a customer walking into Walmart. You're walking into Walmart, right? You're going into Walmart and you're saying, hey, I'm going to go shopping. The moment you gain the amount of traction necessary and enter into a partner agreement with YouTube, you're no longer a customer at Walmart. You're now a vendor at Walmart. Now, here's the same scenario in two different ways. Let's say you're in the chip aisle. You're a customer at Walmart. And you walk around, you crunch up, or you don't do this. They accuse you of crunching up the bags of chips, right? They say, oh, this asshole went through and he crunched up all the bags of chips. It's just a bunch of crumbs. They kick you out forever. You go, I didn't do that. But, Walmart kicks you out of their store forever. Too fucking bad, right? You walked into Walmart to buy stuff. They no longer want to do business with you. You're done at that point. Now let's say you're the Lay's potato chip vendor. You walk into Walmart with your stack of Lay's potato chips. You're going to put it on the shelves. They say that you go over to the Old Dutch potato chips and you crushed all those bags. And therefore, they're never doing business with Lay's again. Not so fast. It's not that simple anymore. Now you are a vendor. You have a vendor agreement with Walmart. You supply them. They supply the retail space, you supply the retail product. You guys each take a share of the income generated from the commerce that happens based on this agreement. You are now in a contractual relationship that is distinctly different from the person walking through the door. And the same thing with YouTube partners. The second you sign that partnership agreement, YouTube owes a duty to you. They owe a duty to you to preserve the terms of the contract that you're under and make them work. They no longer get to say, well, this is our platform, we get to keep whoever we want off of. They decided to not only keep you on the platform, but to let you into a special, separate agreement. And that is very, very fucking different. I am so tired of these little commies running around saying, oh yeah, well, they can do what they want on their platform. No, actually they can't, because their contract says they can't. And they don't get to just say, we get to terminate the contract unilaterally at any time. That's not how contracts work in this country. Sorry, I was thinking about that. It pissed me off because so many people are cucked to these corporations. Corporations don't own you. They never should. The right, by the way, the right is one of the worst offenders of corporate cuckoldry on the fucking planet. They're like, well, they're a private business. Yes, they're a private business. Private businesses are still bound by the law of contract. And the law of contract is not just what's written in the contract. That has to be objectively reasonable language that is perfectly effectable. You have to be able to perform the contract reasonably under its terms. If a contract is not performable by its terms, then it is impossible. It is illusory. It is not a contract. And that is construed against YouTube, not against the creator. Not against the creator. This is not a simple relationship anymore. This is not a store with open doors. We're going in the back door, baby. You better fucking lubricate. And I'm so goddamn tired of Republicans bowing at the altar of corporatehood. This is the worst possible timeline for Republicans to be about business rights. Republicans should be about small business rights. Big corporations are great. I love big corporations. I buy shit from big corporations all the fucking time. I want all the success in the world. They employ tons of people. They don't get to fuck you. They don't get to do it. Just because they're a big corporation doesn't mean they get to bend you over and fuck you without your consent. No. Contracts supersede that bullshit. And the fucking what the Federalist Society cucks, the Cato Institute assholes running around apologizing for corporate shenanigans. Fuck you. Get out the way. The people have a fucking mission here. And if you don't understand that, you need to be gone and retired, because the people are fucking coming for the Republican Party too. All right. Sorry. Salt A says, hey, Nick, did you see the meltdown of fake MAGA grifter Karlyn Borysenko about critical race theory on Twitter? Medicare got some good screen caps. I did see what was going on there. She basically said, if you think critical race theory is anti-white, then you're wrong. Lol, 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 and you're getting blocked. Lol, lol, lol. Look, Karlyn. I don't know Karlyn from Eve. I don't know any of these people. I am the most internet normie person on the planet. I watch Dungeons and Dragons videos. So if you ask me like who someone is, I didn't know who Karlyn Borysenko was. I learned about her briefly because she was on a locals call that I was on. And I was like, who the fuck is this? Like, why did they had her as, like a featured speaker or whatever, because she's a big creator on the platform and one of the early adopters of locals. So they had her talk about her experience and all that stuff. Nothing political. It wasn't like about that. It was just, she's talking. Scott Adams is talking. Dave Rubin is talking. These are some of the early people on locals. So I'm like, I don't know who this is. And I find out it's some like lefty person who's got some minor red pill. Okay, cool. Whatever. Then I see the other day, she's like, look, I am an expert grifter. I am a professional. Karlyn, if you're going to torch your career, please come talk to me first. Let me just advise you on how to avoid this. What you don't do is say, lol, I'm going to ban you from speaking. You're on social media. You are opposed to cancel culture. I will never understand. Like, I know a lot of people. Let's do this. I know there's a lot of people out there who talk about locals as if it's a platform free from trolls. My locals is not free from trolls. Not at all. No way. If you want a place that is sanitized of dissent, that is cleansed or bleached of counter opinions, you should never join my locals. Don't do it. If you come into my Discord and you say something stupid, someone will call you stupid. Actually, if you say something smart, someone stupid in my Discord will also call you stupid. That's what free speech is. That's what locals should be. That's what your Discord should be. I want to be called stupid. I want to be told when I'm fucking up. I want to be told when I've got a point wrong. I may disagree. I may vehemently disagree. I may call you a cuck. I may call you a piece of shit or piece of garbage. That's great. Call me something back. Fight with me. Fight with me. Not like John McCain and his, I can't raise my hands above my shoulders, my friends, but fight with me. Fight with me. No, I mean fight against me. Argue. Refine. Tell me I'm dumb. You're dumb too. Fuck you. Let's fight it out. This is how you refine your positions. It's how you clarify and grow your positions. The idea that you're going to start blocking everybody, what the fuck? Why? Why would you block anybody ever? I don't get it. I don't agree. I have tons of friends who block people on social media. They block people on wherever. I don't do it. I don't do it. And I don't agree with them on it. It drives me fucking crazy. They're like, well, I just blocked the trolls. It's like, but at some point, your definition of troll is subject to the same drift that everybody else's definition is. And troll just becomes someone I don't like. Someone whose opinion I disagree with. That's not a troll. So Karlyn Borysenko, I don't know her. I don't know her at all. I barely know of her. I was really, really sad to see that shit. If you think critical race theory is anti-white, then I'm going to block you. Critical race theory is literally, by definition, in the West, anti-white. Look, if you apply critical race theory in North Korea or China, it's not going to be anti-white. Critical race theory in China is going to be different. It's going to favor an ethnically Chinese subset of people, but it's not going to favor white people because there's not a lot of white people with power in China. But critical race theory in the West in any Western nation is going to be anti-white. It's by design anti-white. Like, it's not even a secret. This is not a conspiracy. It's literally in the fucking thing. The whole purpose is a presupposition that white Anglo-European dominance has built institutions that are inherently racist. That's fine as long as you understand what the assumptions are and why you're applying them. Go for it. Go to town. That's the purpose of critical race theory. That's what you're trying to do. Just as if you're going to apply a critical conservative theory, you could actually do this. You could say institutions are inherently engineered to favor the state and oppose conservatism. And then you could read into a whole bunch of shit and use that to see where systems are opposed to conservatism or traditional values and how they grow on a progressive scale. That would be the analog to critical race theory, but applied in a different way. And it would absolutely be anti-liberal. That would be the fucking point. Why would you try and deny that critical race theory is anti-white? That's the purpose of it, is to be anti-white. It's baked in. It's a feature, not a bug. I'm spent. Okay. Russell Wallace Warren says, who's driving this bus? Nobody. Uriah Wright says, can't wait for the Vic interview, Nick. Oh, well, show up tomorrow. Bring your friends. Bring your mom. ASO says, emailed you, Ronnie O'Neal, closing arguments. Thank you. Not applicable says, it's where you put a beach in a vault. Cal Clay says, should have tried exorcism on himself. White devil. Russell Wallace Warren says, thank you for your service. Amateur Ant says, hold on. This is the first time the Chewbacca defense didn't work. Chewbacca defense never works. Cal Clay says, he gave him the Wayans look from South Central. He also says, Ronnie did the subtitles for this video himself. Eric D says, I came in late. Are we watching the new Chicago DA? Yes. Cal Clay says, can't he just say, well, I'm black, so I'm innocent? He could try. It wouldn't work so well. Russell Wallace Warren says, thank you for your service. Pat Royson says, is his hair supposed to look like a crown? I mean, I guess that's what it is. His hair was shaved in 2018. That's all 2.5 years of growth. Cal Clay says, Bailiff looks like he's ready to pounce on Ronnie. What the fuck? I think he was probably worried that Ronnie was going to start hitting people. Not applicable says, yeah, he did it. Scary, a lawyer could have saved him. I don't know if a lawyer would have saved Ronnie. He had a bad case. Not applicable says, gotta get this man killed and make it to lunch. Talking about why the judge is going to interrupt him for recess for lunch. Random username says, innocent or not, Ronnie is not getting a fair trial. I don't know. I haven't looked at the whole trial. There's certainly parts of the trial that aren't fair, but like going all the way to not a fair trial is a tough legal standard. Pat Royson says, probably a dumb white demon question, but can lawyers be selected for jury duty? Yes. Yes, they can. A lot of times when they find out there's a lawyer for jury duty, they just say, go home. Andrew Haskins says, my brother has mental problems. He has given me that stare. He is ready to off a mofo, but can't. Phoenix Orem says, hey, Nick, any updates on bringing Mike Boudet on the show to discuss rabid Rabia Chandri, trying to cancel him and Cast violating his show's contract by dropping him in April? Godspeed, hope all is well. No, I have not. But I intend to at least spend a few minutes meeting up with Mike when I'm down in Houston for Anime Matsuri. Stephen F. says, the best part of Ronnie's argument, complete with visual aids, was omitted entirely from this vid. It made the prosecution look bad. Difficult to find. Pat Royson says, judge went from snail trail to your ass is dead. Stephen F. says, you really have to hear the prosecutor's closing argument. Charisma of a wet rag. Hardly believable when compared to that of Ronnie. Phone record part missing. Yeah, maybe Thursday we'll listen to the prosecutor's closing argument. Or maybe they'll live stream his sentencing hearing. I think that would be great. And before that, we could listen to it. We'll see. Cal Clay says, isn't Florida dead pen just gator feeding on pay-per-view? Yes. It says, Chauvin, given time served, offered to mob as tribute. That'd be a scary outcome. Eldon Bainling says, oi, Nikki, you should check your locals. The most precious part of you has now been fabulously modeled in lingerie. You're welcome. Oh, God damn it. You guys want to see some locals content? Here you go. Here's my only nose in lingerie content. So thank you. Thank you for that horrifying image. Cal Clay says, Nick, Tommy Lee Jones, the client, state, tote, sus. Not applicable says, these beaches work. They wouldn't get their welfare. Not applicable says, Lamarca Shanika Kwanda Lorena Hussein Jackson. Loretta Silvermember says, Victoria's Secret probably only started catching on when they saw the names of those women and saw they were buying size 3 instead of size 16 XLX. Oh, come on now. Not applicable says they each returned a single item paid by the inch. He says they should get dog whipped is what should happen. Damn. Michael Karkoska says, did you read any of the Drizzt books? I'm trying to think. I like the Elminster books better. And I really like the Dragonlance books. I read the 3 main Dragonlance books. I read a couple Elminster books. I don't know if I read any Drizzt books. I think I started one and was like, I don't care. Look, Rangers are gay. They always have been. Drow are elves, which are automatically gay. They always have been. Look, it's hard for me to read those books in a not June month. I really prefer, I like the Elminster books a lot. Elminster is a cooler character to me. I like the Seven Sisters. They're very interesting as well. Drizzt, like Zachnafin should just beat Drizzt like a stepchild. But here's the thing. Drows are super cucks. The women are dominant and the men are submissive. What the fuck is this? What is this? Okay, Tvor11 and Ryan79, thank you for your donations. Blaine20 says, honey, Blaine, I have not gone to my P.O. box yet. I've got a bunch of shit in there too. I need to go. I'm going to go by there tomorrow. I was going to go today, but I just didn't have time. Josiah Fitch says, here's $5 for your continuing to drive YouTube crazy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Svinstead says, see that OnlyFans are going to tone down lewd content. Yep, we talked about it earlier. Miles Jenkins says, thank you. Svinstead says, I am from Denmark and you're talking truth, but we still got the Germanic spirit and we keep fighting. You got to keep fighting. That's all you can do. Phoenix Orm says, here's $20. Stop ranting about the YouTube's boomer and save the cane shaking / whining about kids on your platform for Twitch. Godspeed, boomer. No. Mr. Bentham says, does Nick look like a bitch, YouTube? Then why are you trying to fuck him like a bitch? Pastor Flash says, Nick, you're stupid. Damn. Josiah Fitch says, what's your opinion on right to work laws? I think that collective bargaining has been hollowed out from it. I don't actually really care for collective bargaining. Here's my problem with the with collective bargaining and labor unions. I don't have a problem in concept with unions. I have a problem that there's a Department of Labor that favors labor unions over employers. I think that when just like I don't want private employers colluding with government to suppress workers, I don't want workers colluding with government to suppress employers either. I think government needs to stay the fuck out of it. If collective bargaining works, great. If you collectively bargain and they decide to fire the lot of you because you're a low-skilled job, great. That should be fine. I don't want the government intervening in union contracts. So if unions work because the union works and the private companies agree to work with the unions, cool. If unions work because the government enforces union power over a corporation, I'm out. Count me out, fam, immediately. I've never been impressed by a union and what they've done for employees ever. Maybe there's some out there. I haven't seen them. Fo Shung Esquire says, I really enjoyed those rants, Nick. That's what you're here for. I hope so. And Benjamin Myers says, Arch stream when fellow knife ear haters would be a fun chat. I don't know. I got to reach out to him. All right. We got 2 more chats. That one guy says, I definitely argue is just as bad. You have no idea how insane the 20 and 30-year-olds are on balance. The activists that are doing, were born in these schools around the same time I was. Should have woken up while there was still some hope. Yeah, but it wasn't as obvious. That's what I'm saying. It's not that it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as overt. Malik Foxon says, be careful with that fight word night. You don't want to incite too many erections. And Eldon Bainling says, unions are gay. If you're in one, you are too. That is the show. Thank you all for watching. Come watch the Vic show tomorrow. I hope everybody and then some shows up. I think we're going to have a big show, and it's a big opportunity to talk to Vic about these issues. The Raging Majority says, do Visa / MasterCard have a legitimate legal reason to be so nosy in Patreon / OnlyFans content? No, they do not. They do not. And it's a mess, and I hate it. I think it's absolutely bogus. But I think Congress is scared of messing with Visa and MasterCard because Visa and MasterCard can fuck over Congress. That's how powerful they are. Persona Non Grata says, Allahu Akbar, Nick. At least Ronnie gave it his best shot. Here's to peace and love to you and your family. May Allah bless your futa. Yeah, look, don't murder your family. That's step 1. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Come over to Twitch. We're going to play some Dark Alliance, even if it's a piece of shit. See you there. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an ardbeg, a bow, more of love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. glass for the T-post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the wide shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the thought better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who